What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 8AK Chapter 191 Increased Favorability, New Halo Characteristics. Advertisement, thank you, I thought. Hiruzen hesitated. Do you think I won't let you take the position? Do you think I'm squeezing you out? You didn't think so when you were young, or did someone say something to you? Jing asked with a smile. No, Sarutobi Hiruzen had no reason to refuse. But he hesitated, and his heart became more and more complicated and entangled. After listening to Shimura Danzo's words before, he always felt that Kage seemed to want Konoha to be put into a dangerous situation, and even blindly excluded them, not allowing them to gain power, but now it gave them power. Don't look at how bad this principle is. This is an important task to cultivate the next generation of Konoha seedlings. If they don't trust you, who would be willing to entrust you with such a heavy burden? Now it seems that Jing is not ostracizing them, but instead entrusts him with such an important task. What is this if not trust? He always felt that if he continued with Danzo, things might get messy. But recalling Danzo's words, Uchiha Kagami wanted to provoke a war to unify the ninja world, and he believed that Konoha would be destroyed as a result. He couldn't figure out why he did this. It could be seen that Sarutobi Hiruzen was very confused. Uchiha Kagami looked at him. Do you think that my ambition as a member of the Uchiha clan has been exposed? I want to unify the ninja world, but I think Konoha will fall into a place of eternal destruction because of this. Yes, I'm worried about that. Hiruzen didn't deny it. First of all, my elder brother has been resurrected. If he doesn't agree to this proposal, do you think I can continue? Even the former ninja god is not worried, so what are you worried about? Uchiha Kagami said calmly. There is no point in your worries. If the sky falls, there will be tall people to hold it up, and you just need to do your part. The unification of the ninja world is a must, and we in Konoha have no choice. But that would bring disaster to the ninja world, and too many people would lose their families and their lives. Why would you do this? Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't understand. Bloodshed is inevitable, and there is no war without bloodshed. Uchiha Kagami replied. You stand from your own narrow perspective and think that war will destroy the lives of the ninja world, but from a higher perspective. The ninja world must be unified, otherwise peace will never come. Think about it for yourself. There have been too many wars in the ninja world since the death of my brother, and the system of the 5 major ninja villages has been maintained for too long. If the ninja world had only one country and only one village, would the situation be better? But how can you guarantee that? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. I can't guarantee. No one can guarantee that change will be successful, but there will always be someone who will do it, even if the world doesn't understand it. Uchiha Kagami stood up and looked at the sky outside the window. When Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara joined hands to found Konoha village, they finally ended the era of war together and calmed the ninja world. Do you think they expected that the ninja world would be peaceful from the beginning? No, they were also scared in their hearts, but they are the leaders of the ninja world. They could only bite the bullet and go on, but they succeeded. For the war era. The system of the 5 great ninja villages is correct, but after so many years, there must be a new system to replace the old system. Do you think Madara is wrong? No, Madara is right, but he chose a person to do it. Face. And I choose to face it together. Even though the result may not be as desired, if I don't do this, the ninja world will still be in a mess. But why not slow down? I feel too anxious, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed. No, it's very slow now, we don't have much time, Uchiha Kagami said. What's the meaning? I can't tell you everything, but besides Uchiha Madara, there are bigger threats waiting for us in Konoha, and the longer time passes, the less likely we are to win. Uchiha Kagami patted his shoulder and said with a slightly condensed expression, Hiruzen, you are my friend, so I want you to help me, but don't hold me back. I don't care who you come into contact with, but don't make the wrong move. The road is clear. If you take the wrong path, you can't go back. Mirror. You already know. That's it. Advertisement. Sarutobi Hiruzen was speechless. I felt uneasy, but I didn't finish my sentence. Uchiha Kagami shook his head to stop him from continuing to pierce this layer. There are some words that cannot be said out loud, and when those words are said out, there is no way for each other to be honest with each other. You should think about it and give me a reply within 3 days. Besides, I have never targeted Danzo specifically. The positions of these 4 principles were originally reserved for you, but it is a pity. Danzo doesn't cherish it, Hiruzen. He doesn't cherish it, you have to cherish it. After all, I don't have many friends anymore. Uchiha Kagami glanced at him, then he left his house with a strong back. Sarutobi Hiruzen seemed to see a touch of regret and loneliness. His heart was shaking, and his fists were clenched so hard that they bled. He could tell. Jing actually values their mutual feelings very much. Once upon a time we were all colleagues and carefree. It doesn't matter if you make some small mistakes, but the thing he can't tolerate most is betrayal. And even though Uchiha Kagami saw that he was in contact with Danzo. But I still can't bear to break this relationship, but it is obvious that this is the last time. If he is still stubborn and wants to go all the way to the dark side with Danzo, then the outcome can be imagined. Uchiha Kagami after leaving, he returned to the courtyard and sat on the deck chair. At night, the stars in the sky were very bright, and he just lay there looking at the stars, saying nothing and feeling lonely. Senju Hashirama on the side noticed his emotions. But instead of taking the initiative to comfort him, he asked, Do you think your friend will let you down? I don't know, people's hearts are unpredictable, Jing said. Yes, people's hearts are unpredictable. When Madara and I first founded Konoha, there were many companions who did not understand, or even resisted. They believed that the clan's independence was gone and that it had lost its due freedom. Senju Hashirama looked at his side face. That's why I opposed our creation of Konoha village. I gave them the right to choose freely. On the road to change. It's normal not to be understood, even by the best of friends. You will also become enemies because of this, and you may even become a loner. But you don't have to worry about this, third brother, because Tobirama and I will stand behind you unconditionally. Brothers work together to break gold. There is no difficulty that cannot be overcome.
Good. Uchiha Kagami smiled. The sad thoughts were swept away.
Then, a mechanical prompt came from his head. Open black lens bracket ding, system hint, close black lens bracket. The favorability from Senju Hashirama is +25, and your relationship is upgraded from best friends and relatives to as close as brothers, close black lens bracket. Get 100 points of chakra, 4 red yang formation, and aura characteristics, God of Ninja, close black lens bracket. Advertisement Chapter 192 Childhood Naruto, Master Uchiha Kagami.
Advertisement. God of Ninja. The greater the change you make in the development of the ninja world, you can use this Halo feature to obtain a directional comprehensive gain buff within 3 hours, including but not limited to ninjutsu, taijutsu, illusion, physicality, etc. Close black lens bracket.
Tip. The greater the change, the greater the influence, and the greater the buff that increases the gain. The current influence on the ninja world is 8%, and the effect of the gain buff is 8%, close black lens bracket. Oh, got a new aura again? Uchiha Kagami was a little surprised. This aura is good, and it is an active skill. The greater the impact on the ninja world, the corresponding percentage of buffs will be obtained. It is not bad, and can be used as a trump card. It's just that I have done so many things now. Let Orochimaru replace Hiruzen as the third Hokage, let Minato avoid the disaster of 9 tails, etc. And Shisui did not commit suicide due to Danzo's disaster. The Uchiha clan is even more prosperous. Konoha is much stronger now than when Hiruzen was in power, but it only affects 8%. This is a bit wrong, right? Or? He thought for a moment. You can probably guess why it's only 8%. After all, although he is now considered the #1 person in the ninja world, fundamentally speaking, he has not changed the structure of the ninja world. And on the contrary, Senju Hashirama as the founder. He originally united the Uchiha, Sarutobi, and Shimura clans, ended the era of war, and established Konoha village, forming the current system of 1 village and 1 country in the ninja world, so his influence must be far greater than his own. And he just stabilized it on the basis of his predecessors. Wrong. If compared to the Sengoku period, the quality of today's ninjas is actually far inferior to that of that period. After all, at that time, he might have just refined chakra and was about to go to the battlefield. If you compare it to this, Konoha village is not much stronger now than it was before. After all, in that era, there were many talents. Of course, it's not too late. Isn't he reforming the ninja school just to train more young people? And compared to the original plot, the real plot actually starts with the protagonist Naruto. At this stage, Naruto and Sasuke are not even old enough to go to kindergarten, and the plot direction has only moved a little bit.
What about influence? It's normal to think of it this way.
Konoha 54 years, it's not a very big yard.
The Whirlpool clan emblem hung outside the door, and a yellow-haired little kid was in the yard. Playing wantonly, the 3-year-old child was wearing crotchless pants and a black short-sleeved upper body with a swirling red pattern tattooed on the middle of the short sleeves. He was playing with various toys in his hands and smiling happily. Minato walked out of the door with a gentle smile. Menma, stop playing, today is your birthday. Your mother is preparing delicious food for you, and you can start eating soon. You put away your toys first. One time.
I don't want it. I still want to play. Uzumaki Naruto shook his head like a rattle. I'm tired of playing with these toys, Dad. I want other toys. Can you buy me a plane? I heard it's a new toy from Uchiha Toy Factory. I can still fly. I want that. Is that okay? Minato came over, held him in his arms, and said helplessly, didn't I just take you to buy 100 toys yesterday? Are you tired of playing with them today? It's not easy for your father and me to make money. No, I want it. I want it, Uzumaki Naruto said with all his strength. Dad, you are the Hokage. Many people say. You are the richest person in Konoha. How can you not even be able to buy toys? Dad, you are so powerful. Are you lying to me? Hey, Menma, I'm not lying to you. Namikaze Minato has nothing to do with his son. Although I am not the richest, I can still make some money, but you can't be so wasteful. Have you forgotten the toys you bought before? The room is almost full. Advertisement, can't I just give those toys to my friends? I don't have much money anyway, so I want that plane. I like that plane very much, Dad. If you buy it for me, do you not love me anymore? Uzumaki Naruto pouted. Okay, Daddy will buy it for you. Namikaze Minato finally surrendered. There is no way, every time my son comes up with this trump card. He had no choice but to give in. He didn't have much money to buy toys anyway. As the 4th Hokage, couldn't he even pamper his son? Dad is the most handsome, mwah. Naruto kissed him. Okay, your master will be here soon. You quickly put away the toys and go back to wash up. Get dressed and be a polite child, you know? Minato poked his nose. Master is coming? I'm going to get dressed right now. Uzumaki Naruto was very happy. Ignore the messy toys on the floor. Just like that, naked buttocks, he went straight to his small bedroom. Namikaze Minato, on the other hand, packed up his son's toys as usual and placed them neatly in the cabinet. And seeing Minato coming back, Uzumaki Kushina was in the kitchen and couldn't help but said, "Didn't I ask you to ask your son to pack the toys and put on clothes? Why did you pack them yourself?" "It's okay, we'll talk about it next time. Today is my son's birthday anyway." Minato shrugged nonchalantly. "Just spoil him. Sooner or later he will be spoiled by you."
Uzumaki Kushina gave him an eye roll. But he didn't argue anymore and continued to prepare the meal. Naruto also got dressed, changed out of his crotchless pants and short sleeves, and chose a set of casual clothes, which was relatively formal.
Half an hour later, there was a knock at the courtyard door. Minato and his son hurriedly opened the door to greet him. Outside the door was Uchiha Kagami. He also held a toy airplane in his hand, with some lights flashing and some music playing. "Naruto, I brought you a birthday present. Do you like this plane?" "Wow, I like it. I like this airplane the most. Master, you are so kind. I just asked my father to buy it for me, and you brought it to me."
Naruto was very happy immediately. "Sure enough, Master loves me the most, hee."
"That's for sure. Come, let Master give me a hug."
Okay. Uchiha Kagami held Naruto in her arms. Naruto, on the other hand, had a toy airplane in his hand and was having a great time playing with it.
Minato looked at his son's appearance and immediately frowned and scolded him. "Menma, did you forget to salute your master? So rude." "It's okay, kid. Don't be so strict, Minato. Besides, today is Naruto's birthday, so don't worry about so many etiquettes." Uchiha Kagami didn't care at all, poking Naruto's chubby cheek. "I have to say that Naruto is only 3 years old now. But what is different from the original work is that his face has meat. Obviously, with father's and mother's love, he no longer needs to eat expired food, and he can be considered healthy and meaty." Have to say, he was genuinely happy to see Naruto like this. Chapter 193 Naruto. I don't want to go to school, woo-woo.
Advertisement. After all, in the original work, after Minato and his wife died as heroes, Naruto, as a hero and the son of the fourth Hokage, could actually be reduced to eating expired milk and instant noodles. This kind of thing is simply outrageous.
Many people think it's Sarutobi Hiruzen's fault. In fact, he thought so too at first, and hated it deeply. But fortunately, the plot has changed. Hiruzen has not caused any harm to Naruto's family, and it seems that he has no contact with Danzo anymore. And Uchiha Kagami is too lazy to care about anything. After all, something that never happened. There was nothing he could do to make Hiruzen pay the corresponding price. Moreover, with the integration of his and his original memories, Hiruzen himself is a very good friend with him, so thinking about the old relationship, he no longer holds the blame. It's better for you, master." Naruto kissed his master again and said with a smile. "Master, when you get old and can't walk anymore, I will definitely carry you on my back. And let you roam around the village. I will definitely honor you in the future." "Ha ha ha, okay, then I have to wait for that day." Uchiha Kagami laughed. He pinched Naruto's cheek and found this boy even more adorable. Seeing the teacher pampering his son so much, Minato felt particularly happy and warm, and carried the teacher to his home. And Kushina is still busy cooking. She was about to turn around and salute him, but was stopped by Jing. "Okay, today is specially for the birthday of the birthday boy, so there is no need for so many etiquettes. Kushina, you go about your business first." "Okay, you're welcome." Minato says hello, I know. Minato smiled. Everyone sat on the sofa in the living room. Uchiha Kagami looked at the home up and down. Minato's home was not big. It's just a small villa with 2 floors. The lower floor contains some living areas, such as the living room, kitchen, bathroom, and a master bedroom. This master bedroom is of course the room that the young couple is tired of. If it was placed on the second floor with Naruto, it would be too embarrassing if it was bumped into, but the second floor was very simple, with only 3 bedrooms. The small bedroom was occupied by Naruto, the other 2 were vacant. One of them contained toys that Naruto had bought over the years, thousands of them at least, and yes, he was so arrogant. Uchiha Kagami withdrew his gaze and couldn't help but wonder, "Minato, you are also the 4th Hokage after all. Why don't you expand it a little? Just like my garden. Get some artificial fish ponds or something." The size of this small villa is not worthy of the Hokage. It needs to be at least a 3-story villa, and the area must be increased 4 or 5 times. Your small yard is too small. Naruto can't even have fun playing. "Teacher, that's almost enough." Minato laughed and shook his head. "I'm not the kind of person who likes to live a luxurious life. Besides, I am a Hokage after all. I still need to play a good leading role for the villagers, and I can't be as extravagant and wasteful as you." "Do you think I am extravagant and wasteful?" Jing said. "No. Well, a slip of the tongue. You are old after all. You are 42 years old this year. It's time to enjoy yourself," Minato corrected. Advertisement, I'm still young. Okay, how old is 42? Uchiha Kagami pinched her face. "Look at my face, it's so tender that it can ooze." Orochimaru has also developed skincare products that prolong life, and they give me dozens of sets every year. There are at least hundreds of sets of skincare products piled up now, and I can't even use them all. When you come to my house when you are free, remember to take half of them. You and Kushina can use them, regardless of gender. Sensei. I don't need these, Minato said awkwardly. You don't need it, Kushina. You don't need it? Kushina has so many friends. He has a very good relationship with Makoto, so he can pass it on to other people. Uchiha Kagami said persuasively, and you are Hokage. Although you don't have to flatter others, there are always some elders in the village who need to pay homage. These things don't cost you money. Isn't this a good use of waste? Okay, then I'll be more respectful than obey. Thank you, teacher, Minato nodded. You're welcome. Let's stop doing this nonsense, by the way. Uchiha Kagami asked quietly, how is your health? You have taken so many supplements in my beef whip hot pot, you should be okay? Ahem, teacher. Why did you mention this all of a sudden? Minato said with a blush on his face. I care about you. Don't underestimate these things. The relationship between husband and wife is not just about feelings. If you are not satisfied with paying the official fare at night, it will also affect the relationship between them. Uchiha Kagami blinked. This is all based on the experience of your master and me as people who have been here. After so many years. It should be okay. Have you checked with a doctor from the medical department? I've been checked and I'm fine. Minato was cautious, with a look of joy on his face. It was true that I was too tired and had to do activities at night, which led to physical overdraft. It's also thanks to teacher that you discovered it early, otherwise Menma might not be able to get pregnant. You're welcome, we're all family members, but don't slack off. It's best to take a break from your busy schedule during work. There's no need to make yourself so tired. Teacher, what exactly do you want to say? Okay, let me tell you directly, have you ever thought about having a second child? Second child? Namikaze Minato was stunned. Why do you ask this suddenly? Uchiha Kagami smiled and said, it's okay, I'm just worried about what if you overdraw your body again. What should I do? While you're in good health, hurry up and get another one. We have to discuss it with Kushina and get Naruto's consent. Oh okay. Okay, stop chatting and come to eat, Kushina said suddenly. Coming. Everyone sat at the dining table, all very sumptuous meals and cakes. After almost finishing the meal, after celebrating his birthday and eating the cake, Naruto wiped his mouth and showed a satisfied smile. Mom's cooking is delicious, and the cake is also delicious. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for helping me pack my toys, as well as my master's birthday gift. Uchiha Kagami suddenly asked, you're welcome, Minato. Naruto is 3 years old now, right? Yes, teacher. Then it's time to go to kindergarten, Jing said. Uzumaki, the smile on Naruto's face suddenly stopped, and he said with tears in his eyes, go to school? I don't want to. I don't want to go to school. I hate going to school the most. Woo woo, oh. Chapter 194, the first day of school, the encounter between Sasuke and Naruto. Advertisement, Master, you lied to me. Today is my birthday. Just let me go to school. Naruto, don't cry. Uchiha Kagami ruffled his hair. Do you know what it means to go to school? What does it mean? It means you're going to school. Naruto was stunned. Minato and Kushina beside them were also dumbfounded. What does it mean to go to school? What the hell kind of crap literature is this? Uchiha Kagami patiently picked up Lil Naruto and said in a serious tone. You are still young now, so it is normal that you don't like going to school. But boys have to grow up. You are a gifted child. Don't you want to become the Hokage who protects the village and become everyone's idol like your father? I don't want to, Naruto said stubbornly. Well. Uchiha Kagami was slightly surprised. Unexpectedly, Naruto no longer aims to become a Hokage? He thought he could come up with such words to inspire this little kid, but if you think about it, it's normal. After all, Naruto now has the care of his parents. It's not unreasonable not to target the Hokage. This is actually not a big deal. It doesn't matter whether Naruto becomes Hokage or not, what matters is that Naruto becomes stronger. Then, Uchiha Kagami said patiently, okay, even if you don't want to be a Hokage, don't you want to have more friends? I can play with toys. Naruto pouted. Sooner or later you will get tired of toys. As you grow up, you will have your own friends, play with them, and get through the difficulties together. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. There will be many peers in the school, and they will all become your friends, and the school will teach you ninjutsu. Haven't you always liked ninjutsu? Yes, I like ninjutsu. Can I learn ninjutsu when I go to school? Naruto was very interested. That's right, and your master and I have reformed the ninja school. The school has more than 10 times more ninjutsu than before. Whatever ninjutsu you want to learn. Just learn any ninjutsu. Okay. Uchiha Kagami smiled. Okay, then I'll go to school, Naruto agreed. This made the Minato couple next to them sigh in relief. In fact, they had been worried that Naruto was spoiled by them and would not want to go to school when he reached an age. It's not really a big deal, but the problem is, he fourth Hokage reformed the ninja school with the teacher. As a civilian idol, Namikaze Minato, the dignified fourth Hokage, has a son who does not go to school. This will make everyone distrust the reformed ninja school. Therefore, Naruto had to go to school no matter what. Moreover, they must go to school as soon as they reach the age to give the people reassurance. But the Minato couple were worried that they would not be able to defeat Naruto. Even though Kushina's family status was high, Naruto was very obedient when she was angry. But Naruto has been an independent child since he was a child. If you really decide something, you won't look back even if you beat yourself to death. Then he approached Uchiha Kagami, his master, to persuade Naruto. Fortunately, Naruto agreed. After dinner, Naruto went upstairs to sleep by himself. Kushina went to clear away the dishes, leaving Namikaze Minato alone. The master and apprentice sat on the sofa in the living room, and Minato showed a grateful look. Sensei, luckily you convinced Naruto. Advertisement. It's okay, but have you thought about it? When will Konoha kindergarten start? Jing asked. Tomorrow. The recruitment list has been confirmed. It's better to do it as soon as possible, Minato considered. Okay, just do what you want. The next day, early in the morning. Konoha kindergarten starts on time. Naruto was escorted by Kushina to Konoha kindergarten. A large number of parents and children were crowded outside the gate. Some of them were parents who brought their children to register at the school, and many of them were watching the excitement. After all, this is Konoha's first kindergarten. Moreover, Uchiha Kagami personally negotiated with various major clans and jointly reformed the school, which was established specifically to cultivate outstanding ninjas. It is impossible for everyone not to look forward to it, and the kindergarten is not small. The gate of a kindergarten alone gives people a very glorious feeling. Compared with later universities, except for the slight difference in area, it is not that Uchiha Kagami is too extravagant. And a building of this level, clap your hands and shout whatever you want, with the blessing of wood style. Not to mention the entire school, building 3 Konoha villages is as simple as sprinkling water. It does not waste wood or money, and only consumes a little bit of chakra. Why not just build it bigger? Mom, there are so many people. Naruto was very happy and clenched his fists. It seems that master didn't lie to me. I can indeed make friends here, but calling friends is one thing. I want to learn all ninjutsu and become like master, the strong one. As expected of my son, come on Menma. Kushina touched his head. Oh, don't call me by my nickname. There are so many outsiders. Mom, can you give me some face? Naruto was a little shy. I don't care, you are my son. I can call you whatever I want, if you keep talking nonsense. Be careful, I will beat you up. Kushina curled her lips. Sure enough, Dad is right, you are just a tigress. Naruto wasn't done yet. I vaguely saw my mother's red hair. He seemed to be floating vaguely, which was obviously a sign of anger, so Naruto apologized as timidly as his father. I'm sorry, mother. My mother is the most beautiful and the best mother in the world. I will take good care of you in the future. Just rest assured. Naruto said confidently, patting his chest. This is not bad. Come and have a look in line and see how to register. Kushina was curious. Just as I was about to queue up, I saw a familiar person walking over. She has long black hair, is very beautiful, and has a gentle and elegant temperament about her. Makoto, are you here too? Kushina smiled. Yes, Sasuke is old enough to go to school. Today happens to be the school registration day, so I brought Sasuke here. Uchiha Makoto looked at Naruto next to him and smiled softly. This is Naruto, right? He looks very cute. And has a very similar temperament to the 4th generation. Sasuke, say hello to Naruto, aren't you friends? Thank you, Aunt Makoto. Naruto bowed obediently. Of course he had met Uchiha Makoto. As long as he can remember, his mother often took him and Aunt Makoto shopping for clothes, and they often visited their respective homes. Makoto and Kushina are very good friends, the kind who talk about everything. Therefore, I also hope that the two sons will also become good friends. On the one hand, they are in a personal relationship. On the other hand, Uchiha Kagami is Naruto's master, Minato is a disciple of Mirror, and Uchiha Fugaku's family is the deputy patriarch. The two families must have a good relationship. Including their younger generations, they must also cultivate feelings from an early age. But what puzzles them is that these two children seem to be destined to be in conflict with each other, and neither wants to see the other. Chapter 195 Might Guy's Disciple. My name is Hyuga Neji. Advertisement, but, because of my mother's face. Sasuke still raised his head, trying to be cool. Hello, Naruto. Can you say hello? Naruto couldn't bear it. Why can't I? Sasuke said arrogantly. You use your nostrils to look at people when you say hello? Who taught you? My father and my master have taught me since I was a child that when we say hello to each other, we should at least look at each other, right? Naruto said unconvinced. Leave me alone? Believe it or not, I'll beat you up. Come. The two of them went back and forth without giving in at all. Makoto was also in trouble, and Kushina's eyes immediately filled with red light, and she scolded him fiercely. Okay, if you two quarrel again, believe it or not, I will swell your butts in front of everyone. Sasuke said obediently. Let's stop arguing, Aunt Kushina. Naruto also lowered his head. I was wrong, Mom. Kushina then let go of these two little brats. That's pretty much it. I don't know what's going on with you two. Why are you quarreling all the time? You won't be able to do that in the future. Only, Naruto and Sasuke looked at each other. The two of them were still arrogant and refused to explain, but they didn't quarrel anymore. Kushina glanced at Makoto, and the two of them reluctantly stopped being entangled. In fact, they specifically asked Fugaku and Minato about this matter. As a father, he also asked someone to ask Uchiha Kagami, wanting to know why the two children kept fighting against each other. The answer given by Uchiha Kagami is only 3 words. Because of love. This made Fugaku and Minato confused at the time. But Neji Jing didn't explain that much, he just told them that this was the fate of the two of them. They stumbled along the way and kept being more serious. But the two of them would be each other's best friends. None of them, out of trust in teachers and patriarchs. Minato and Fugaku stopped arguing and just treated it like children having a tantrum.
Kushina lined up with Naruto and Sasuke, completed registration one after another and left the school. After all, there were teachers taking care of them in the school, and these seemed young, but in fact they were very mature.
Each of them wants to learn more ninjutsu. Graduated and became an excellent ninja, so unlike children in the real world, they cry for their mother every day after their mother is gone. On the first day of registration, students will naturally be divided into different classes. There was no difference between classes, and Naruto and Sasuke happened to be in the same class with some disciples of the big clan. Most of the rest are disciples of small tribes or common people. Inside the classroom, there are tables, chairs and benches. There was a big blackboard on the podium and everyone was chatting. Only Naruto glanced at Sasuke with a look of disgust on his face. How come I'm assigned to the same class as you? It's really unlucky. I want to become a strong person like my master, and you will definitely drag me down. Only you? I'm laughing so hard. Sasuke sneered disdainfully. Do you know how strong the clan leader is? You are still young, and you still like to fantasize every day. I think you are still wearing crotchless pants. Go home and play with your toys. You don't like those childish ones the most? Toy? Naruto clenched his fists. That's enough for you, Sasuke. Do you believe I will beat you? Come on, let's see who goes. It's only been a few days since you learned how to refine chakra, right? But unfortunately, I learned it a month earlier. And I also learned ninjutsu, you know, right? Ninjutsu? You will spend the rest of your life you can't even learn it. Sasuke mocked. Stinky Sasuke, I'll beat you to death. Advertisement. Naruto finally couldn't help it anymore. Clench your fists and hit the opponent hard. Sasuke didn't panic at all. He turned slightly to avoid his punch, and then stretched out his right foot to trip Naruto down. Oops, it's over, I'm going to make a fool of myself. Naruto felt his body lose balance. Staggering on the spot, he was about to be beaten to death. But, he was grabbed by the collar behind his neck. A kid with a watermelon head and thick eyebrows, wearing a green tights. Sasuke felt very unhappy, as if he had been slapped in the face. Who are you? Dare to spoil my good deeds? Do you know who I am? Sasuke, of course I know who you are, and everyone knows Naruto and his identity. I'm just a civilian. My name is Xiao Li, and you can call me Rock Lee. The thick-browed boy replied. Can civilians enter this class? Sasuke looked him up and down. I can't help but doubt that there is really no difference between classes. But before his brother left, he revealed some inside information to himself. The big clans would be divided into the same class. This was not to allow the big clans to gather strength, but because they did not want to widen the gap between the common people and the big clans. Therefore, the students in Class 1 must be from all major ethnic groups. And he is a descendant of one of the top 10 families in Konoha. As the son of the 4th Hokage, Naruto would definitely have no problem entering this class, but what about this kid who calls himself a commoner? I don't know how I got into Class 1, but my teacher told me that hot-blooded young people should not bully the weak. Naruto was stimulated by you just now, but you deliberately wanted to make him look embarrassed. You are wrong. Rock Lee clenched his fists. His face was full of determination, but his palms were all sweaty. Of course he knew the identity and background of the person in front of him, but he didn't know how he got into Class 1. But, the teacher taught him that youth should help the weak. No matter whether the other party's status was noble or not, he was just helping Sasuke because he couldn't stand it, and he had no intention of currying favor with Naruto. Your teacher? Who is your teacher? Sasuke asked curiously. My teacher is Might Guy. Oh? Sasuke looked surprised. On the contrary, as soon as this name appeared, the other rich children present were all shocked and exclaimed. This name is very familiar to them. The bet between the Hyuga clan and Lord Mirror 2 years ago made Might Guy, a commoner, famous. In a short period of time, completed more than dozens of S-level missions. Being promoted to Jonin by the 4th Hokage himself is an honor that not everyone has. Although the Invincible Hyuga clan is still a powerful clan, Might Guy, even the original Hyuga Firegate, can be regarded as giving the wealthy clan a lesson on reputation. And hearing this name, there was a boy with white eyes, long hair and clenched fists. He stood up and walked step by step in front of Rock Lee, suppressing his violent emotions and staring at him with a pair of white eyes. You said, your teacher is Might Guy? Rock Lee wondered. Yes, what's wrong? The boy with white eyes pointed at him and said resolutely, do you dare to accept my challenge? I want to defeat you on behalf of the Hyuga clan. I want to wash away the shame that your teacher has done to my Hyuga clan. Rock Lee said, are you from the Hyuga clan? What's your name? The boy with white eyes said, my name is Hyuga Neji. Chapter 196 Sasuke. You can't even use kunai, right? Advertisement. You are indeed from the Hyuga clan. Before you challenge, are you sure you want to do it in the name of the Hyuga clan? Rock Lee asked. Why not? Hyuga Neji said stubbornly. First of all, you cannot represent the Hyuga clan. Rock Lee looked at him with a youthful expression. My teacher taught me that in most cases, an individual cannot represent the whole, but when a person is good enough, he can represent a whole to some extent. Overall. For example, the genius of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Firegate Senpai. He represented the Hyuga clan in a competition with my teacher, but was ultimately defeated by my teacher, who was originally just a chunin with a low sense of presence. After this competition, we have become well known to everyone, and to a certain extent, we represent civilian ninjas. And you, Hyuga Neji, and I, are just children. We have just condensed chakra, and we can't even shoot kunai accurately. Do you think? Why can you challenge me on behalf of the Hyuga clan? Me. Hyuga Neji was speechless for a moment. He didn't expect this thick-browed boy to be so eloquent. And he actually had no reason to refute. Indeed, he was just a kid in kindergarten, and he was still from the Hyuga branch house. It is even less possible for him to challenge others on behalf of the Hyuga clan. You can't represent the Hyuga clan, and I can't represent the civilian ninja. Rock Lee looked at him and stretched out his right hand. But we are still very weak now, but sooner or later we will grow up. I don't want to represent any whole group, I just don't want to let my teacher down. Therefore I will not refuse your challenge, but the challenge needs to be postponed until we grow up and become excellent ninjas. You don't need to challenge me, my youth will inspire me to keep moving forward and defeat you. Then I will challenge you personally, Neji said stubbornly. Why? What's the use of even if you win me like this? It works, I feel comfortable. 6. Rock Lee was speechless. There was no way, the two little brats just started fighting. But now even if they refine the chakra, but for the use of chakra, there is no way, so there are punches and kicks. Rock Lee grabs Neji's hair, and Neji scratches Rock Lee's face. This scene, the children were all excited immediately. An ordinary person would have been scared to tears, but he will become a ninja in the future. Moreover, as the major clans handed over their secret skills, the major clans were dissatisfied with Might Guy, but they couldn't provoke him. Now Neji and Rock Lee are fighting each other, which is a bad breath. Okay. Hit him. Scratch his face. Neji. Scratch him. Scratch him. Don't fight, it's immune to death. Sasuke was still deliberately irritating. Until the two of them were exhausted and panting. Then he let go. Rock Lee stood up and stared at Neji, saying seriously. You are indeed very strong, your physical skills are no weaker than mine. Your taijutsu is okay. Let's wait until we learn ninjutsu before fighting next time. Okay, it's a deal. Hyuga Neji has bright eyes. He stretched out his right hand and shook hands with him, his arrogant little face filled with the will to fight. Although he is from the Hyuga branch house, his father is also the younger brother of the Hyuga clan leader. He has to work hard to prove himself. First he has to prove that he is a genius. Then, as a genius, he defeated Rock Lee to wash away the shame of that day. Bang bang. Bang bang bang. Advertisement. There was applause from the podium. The children all turned their heads in surprise and realized that they didn't know when. There were already several Jonin on the podium, including Might Guy, Kakashi, and Shisui, and the leader was a white-haired ninja. On his forehead, he wears a forehead protector with the word, oil, in it. The children were all excited to see this man. Konoha Sanin? It's Lord Jiraiya. Why did Jiraiya-sama come to our classroom? Jiraiya waved his hand and said in a very bad way, this is our child of Konoha, full of energy. Yes, I am the Toad Messenger of Mount Myoboku, the Toad Messenger with both strength and talent, that's Jiraiya. Ha ha ha. Children. You ask me why I am here. It's because I am your principal, and because of the appointment given to me by Jing. He asked me to discipline you because he was afraid that you would just play. It seems that he was wrong. You are all good and you will all be the future of Konoha. Konoha Sanin will be the principal? The children were very happy. After all, Jiraiya's reputation in the village is quite good. Apart from being a bit lustful, there's nothing wrong with me like peeking into women's bathhouses. Not to mention that lustful things are common to all men, and only a few people know this, so the children's idle impression of Jiraiya has not been shattered, on the contrary, their enthusiasm has increased. Okay. Jiraiya said sternly. Next, let me introduce you to the teachers for the next course. First of all, the teacher of taijutsu. Naturally Might Guy, then Shisui, who is responsible for illusions, and Kakashi, who is responsible for ninjutsu. Of course, in addition to the three teachers, you also have basic theory classes and practical classes. These classes must also be taken. Come and meet the teacher. Hello teacher. The children bowed obediently. Then the course started like this, but it was their turn to teach in the early stages. After all, most of these children have just learned to refine chakra, and some don't even know how to refine chakra. After learning to refine chakra, then they can use chakra, and they have to learn basic kunai exercises and so on. Only after learning these basics can you be qualified to learn ninjutsu. In terms of basic kunai training, Sasuke's performance far exceeded that of his peers, causing a commotion among the girls around him. Hey, Sasuke is so handsome, this kunai shot is so cool. Sasuke is also very handsome, I really want to be his girlfriend. I want, too. Sasuke's shuriken, there are also some basics that Itachi taught in advance. Of course, for excellent ninjas, these basics are not enough. They are just a fixed target. This is more than enough to show off in front of these children. As expected of me, Sasuke looks cold on the outside but feels very proud in his heart. He shot the target at the top of his class and deliberately provoked Naruto. Do you know? Naruto blushed. As the son of the fourth Hokage, you can't even use kunai, right? No way? No way? Sasuke stimulated with a smile. I won't, but I will surpass you sooner or later, Naruto said firmly. That would be too difficult. I have already surpassed you by one step, and I will surpass you by the second and third steps in the future. By the time you catch up with me, I will have left you so long ago that you will no longer even have a shadow. Sasuke stared at him and said with a smile, I know you admire Uncle Jing very much, but unfortunately, I also regard Uncle Jing as my idol. Let's compare. Who will impress him more after graduation? Chapter 197 Because you are ugly, I reject you, advertisement. Okay, I'll compete with you, Naruto clenched his fists. Start practicing hard. As the son of the fourth Hokage, his talent is naturally not weak. And according to the original work, the main reason why he started to lose weight was because of the interference of the Nine Tails chakra, and now the Nine Tails Jinchuriki is still Minato. Therefore, Naruto was quickly practicing and making rapid progress. Fang fang. Just 2 clicks. The kunai flew out and hit the bullseye. I learned it. Haha. Naruto put his hands on his hips and said proudly. I know how to practice kunai. Didn't you expect it? I really thought you were the only genius. What a coincidence. I am a genius even though I am not a big kid. My master has told me a long time ago that no one in the ninja world can match me in terms of my talent in developing certain ninjutsu. I will definitely surpass you. Sasuke. HMPH, I won't lose to you either. Then Luduo, Sasuke pouted. Then I stopped practicing during get out of class time. Sitting on the stool in the practical class venue again, he looked cold on the outside but felt anxious in his heart. Damn Naruto. He actually learned how to stick a kunai into a fixed target in one day. He is indeed the son of Master Hokage. He really cannot be underestimated. When I get back from school, I will ask my brother to open a small stove and let him teach me how to hit the moving target. I will surpass you by then, Naruto. What do you want to do? Just as he was secretly competing, a little girl with pink hair walked over. With a blush on her face, she carefully held a flower. Sasuke, I'll give you this flower. I don't want it. Sasuke refused. Why? I don't know you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The girl with pink hair panicked, but quickly calmed down. My name is Haruno Sakura, and I am your classmate. I was rude just now, but now that we know each other, can you accept my flowers? Oh, I refuse. Sasuke said coldly. Why? Because you are ugly, I reject you. Sasuke glanced at her and looked her up and down. I don't like to deal with ugly people. Haha, I really thought I didn't know your purpose. You want to surpass our Uchiha clan? Haha. My father and Uncle Jing told me about it before I went to school. For people with our status like Naruto and I, some smart kids are destined to approach us. You are not what you look like, and your thoughts are not pure. I don't deal with crooked girls, stay away, woo-woo. Haruno Sakura was hurt by these words. He dropped the flowers and left, but Sasuke remained unmoved. And Naruto was sitting next to him and didn't plan to do anything. He didn't know the pink-haired guy, so he had no reason to go up and comfort him. On the contrary, he was a little curious about Sasuke's reaction. Naruto poked his arm and couldn't help but ask curiously, do you really see that this Haruno Sakura's thoughts are not pure? No, I'm just talking nonsense. Sasuke shook his head. Then why did you refuse? Well, I mean that to put it mildly. It's just a flower anyway. Is it necessary to use such a fierce tone? Naruto wondered. Advertisement. Sasuke said nothing, but the less he said anything, the more curious Naruto became. Just tell me, what is our relationship? Although you and I don't deal with each other, we are still friends after all. I won't tell others. Who is your friend? Humph. Sasuke turned his head proudly. Actually, it was Uncle Jing who told me not to deal with a girl with pink hair before I went to school. So I obeyed. Huh? Master, has he investigated this girl? Doesn't she have a simple background? Naruto was stunned. I don't have any background. I am just a child from an ordinary family. My master said that I will have emotional entanglements with this girl in the future, and you will also have some emotional entanglements with this girl. The specific reasons were not specified. Sasuke's eyes flashed with wisdom. But it's not difficult to guess that we may form a love triangle, and then we will fight because of this girl? FK. So outrageous. Naruto was shocked. It's so outrageous. Anyway, I believe what Uncle Jing said. You must believe it too, right? Sasuke asked. Of course, I believe what Master said. I believe it 100%. Sometimes I don't even believe what my father says. He often says that he gets off work at 8 o'clock in the evening, but sometimes he doesn't come back after a whole night. He is really a big liar. Naruto pouted. Isn't that enough? Just stay away from this Haruno Sakura, Sasuke said. Understood. Naruto glanced at his peers on the practice field and muttered. My dad also asked me to make some good friends, but I have to make some friends who don't care so much. For example, that Rock Lee is pretty good, and he helped me a little bit. Neji is okay. Just a bit arrogant. I don't understand the others yet. What do you think? Making friends will only delay my becoming stronger, including women. Sasuke stood up with a cold and aloof look on his face. I want to be as strong as Uncle Mirror, and I am also the hope of the Uchiha clan in the future. How can I focus on such trivial matters? It's a waste of my time. And women are very troublesome. I don't plan to touch women in this life. In other words, you are only friends with me? Naruto smiled. Sasuke was anxious. I didn't. What are you talking about? Then what are you explaining to me? Whether you make friends or not is your business. Why do you have to explain it to me alone? Naruto said with a smile. Shut up. Sasuke covered his mouth and said with an arrogant look on his face. You and I are not friends. You and I are rivals. Of course. It is not certain whether you can be my rival for life. After all, I am a genius. I'm telling you. I've even learned the great fireball technique now, isn't it amazing? What? Naruto was shocked. He originally thought Sasuke was bragging. But I didn't expect this guy to really learn ninjutsu. Moreover, the great fireball technique is not easy to learn. Some Chunin may not be able to learn it. It is too difficult for children who have just learned how to refine chakra. I don't believe it, show me. Naruto didn't believe it. Okay, let me show you the difference between you and me. This is the representative ninjutsu of the Uchiha clan. You only need to mobilize the chakra and gather it at the throat and then. Great fireball technique. Sasuke gathers chakra. He puffed up his cheeks and spit out a fireball. But this fireball was only the size of a fist, and it only lasted for a second before disappearing. The scene is always embarrassing. Naruto couldn't help but laugh. You call this the great fireball? Haha. Does it take a lot of effort to light a cigarette? Ha ha ha. It made me laugh. I thought you really learned it. Sasuke. Chapter 198 Naruto's first chat with shy Lil Hinata. Advertisement. What do you mean it takes a lot of effort to light a cigarette? Sasuke gritted his teeth angrily. My fireball is enough to light 10 cigarettes. Besides, you haven't learned ninjutsu yet, so what right do you have to laugh at me? Yes, I'm not qualified. Naruto didn't object. HMPH. Sasuke tilted his head proudly. On the practice field, all the children were practicing kunai. Of course, they are still young after all, and some children stop practicing after a while and start playing. This scene, Sasuke shook his head as he watched. Sure enough, it's all too childish. Naruto, they don't understand now that even geniuses have to work hard. They shouldn't waste time at such an age. Naruto scratched his head. We are all young. My father asked me to combine work and rest before he left. Nothing is more important than being happy. Absurd. You are so decadent that you can't be my opponent. What's wrong with your young age? Do you know who was the youngest senior who graduated from the ninja school in the past? Sasuke said with a look of disdain. Who? Naruto asked curiously. It's brother Kakashi and Shisui. Sasuke raised his head proudly, with a hint of fighting spirit in his eyes. They graduated from the ninja school at the age of 5. And became ninjas. My brother was also inspired and trained by big brother Shisui. I also want to catch up with them. I plan to learn all the courses within 1 year and apply to become a genin. I want to break their record. My brother will be proud of me. Graduate 1 year early. Naruto looked at Sasuke, who was full of fighting spirit. He felt a little unsure, but of course he was not one to admit defeat. Okay, then let's compete to see who can graduate first. Okay, it's a deal. The two shook hands. Sasuke wiped his palms with a look of disgust. Naruto, your hands are so oily. If I had known I wouldn't shake hands with you, before shaking hands with me next time. Remember to wash your hands first. There are so many things wrong with you. Naruto rolled his eyes at him. Sasuke turned his head proudly and began to look at his classmates. Soon, then he discovered a girl. With fair eyes, he sat on the swing under the big tree opposite. She has very cute short hair, 2 blushers on her face, timid eyes, and no one else is close to her. Sasuke poked Naruto's elbow. Naruto, look under the big tree. What do you think of that girl? How about what? Naruto was confused. That girl has been staring at you. Although her eyes are very hidden, I still noticed it. Would you like to go over and strike up a conversation? Sasuke whispered. Why are you trying to strike up a conversation? And, why do you think she's staring at me? What if that girl is staring at you? Naruto didn't believe it. I'm just staring at you. Don't forget that I'm from the Uchiha clan. Although I haven't opened my eyes yet. My powers of observation are much stronger than ordinary people. Actually, when we were in the classroom at the beginning, I noticed, she stared at you several times. Sasuke's words. Naruto was inadvertently confused. Just when he was still at a loss, Sasuke pulled him forcefully and walked towards the big tree opposite. Don't you want to make friends? I think this girl is pretty good, let's go. Don't bother, this is too hasty, Naruto blushed. He is not a socially fearful person, but the problem is that it's a bit uncomfortable to be pushed to the shelves by Sasuke like this. Not to mention, he didn't recognize this girl with white eyes either. It was a bit rude to strike up a conversation like this, but he couldn't help it. After being pulled under the big tree by Sasuke, the girl with white eyes looked at the person who suddenly appeared in front of her. Her big beautiful eyes began to tremble up and down. Why are you here, Naruto? What should I do? Avoid it. Isn't this impolite? Why did Naruto come over, or with Sasuke? Advertisement, should I leave? Or, no, I should at least stand up. It's obvious, she was already panicking and she hadn't said anything yet. She was already very active inside, and Naruto scratched his head in embarrassment. Hello, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. What's your name? Don't get me wrong. I just think you look cute and want to make friends with you. Hinata's little face suddenly turned red. She felt like her brain was buzzing and her computer was even down. Because of Naruto's words, she completely filtered out the other sentences, leaving only the, you look cute, in the middle. Then, she started rubbing her fingers together. His eyes were darting wildly, not knowing how to react. This scene made Naruto think that the girl didn't want to be friends with him, which made Naruto glare at Sasuke behind him and see Kamui threateningly. Look at the good things you have done? People ignore me and still don't help me? Sasuke raised his eyebrows a few times. Continue, don't stop. Naruto was confused, but he still bit the bullet and showed a hint of apology on his face. I'm sorry. That's a bit abrupt. Since you don't want to be friends with me, I'm leaving. I'm not. Naruto hadn't turned around yet. Hinata jumped off the swing and grabbed his sleeves with her little hands. I'm not very good at talking. I want to make friends with you. My name is Hyuga Hinata, and I'm from the Hyuga clan.
Hyuga Hinata. When Naruto heard the name, he suddenly frowned. Are you the little princess of the Hyuga clan leader? No wonder. No one dares to approach you. After all, I heard that the clan leader is quite majestic from my father.
I'm sorry. Hinata whispered. Why are you apologizing? Naruto didn't understand. Why were you still talking just now and suddenly apologize? Hinata was too nervous and shy to see Naruto, so she didn't dare to explain anything. Instead, Sasuke walked up to him and explained in a low voice. You're stupid. She was apologizing to you for ignoring you just now. Huh? I'm not angry. Naruto didn't understand. You weren't angry, but Hinata thought you were, so she apologized to you. But you don't have to. You idiot, why are you scolding me? I think you'll be single forever like me. Sasuke felt that it was impossible for Naruto to please women with his emotional intelligence. But due to the instructions of a certain senior, he still said patiently, okay, it's the first time we meet, just say hello. Just say you don't care, then shake her hand, and forget about the rest. Oh, it's up to you. Naruto scratched his head. Although I didn't know why, I did it anyway. Hinata, I didn't care about what you did just now, so you don't need to apologize to me. Then we are friends. Let's shake hands. Ying Ying. Hinata's face turned red again. The other sentences were completely filtered, leaving only the word, handshake. But Naruto was so carefree that he didn't care so much, he directly took Hinata's tender hand and shook it, and then left with Sasuke. Little Hinata was left alone, staring blankly at her little hands. Naruto touched me. So shy, so nervous, so happy. Chapter 199 New S-Class Mission, Investigating Hoshigaki Kisame. Advertisement. After coming back to his senses, he covered his red face with both hands, his heartbeat was also beating fast, and he could not calm down for a long time. And on the other side, Sasuke and Naruto both. He sat on the bench again. As soon as Naruto sat down, he couldn't hold it in anymore. He stared at Sasuke and asked, Sasuke, are you trying to match Hinata and me? Why are you doing this? I don't believe you are such a boring person. Tell me the answer. I won't tell you. Sasuke pouted. Are you sure? Be careful, I'll beat you up. You can't beat me. Naruto clenched his fists and deliberately threatened. Even if I can't beat you, I will beat you. You don't want your brother to know about it after you go back. You got into a fight with your classmates on the first day of school, right? Okay, let me tell you. Sasuke said seriously. Actually, it was Uncle Mirror who told me. He said that besides the pink girl, there is another person who will have emotional entanglements with you, and this person is Hinata from the Hyuga clan. Uncle Jing didn't tell me the specific emotional entanglement. Anyway, he said a lot of things about, the secret must not be leaked, and then said that she will be your second true love in this life. After practicing 8 lifetimes of blessings in his previous life, he could not marry such a wife. And Uncle Jing said that you were an emotional idiot, so he asked me to help you. I didn't believe it at first, but now I find that you are really an emotional idiot, and you are an idiot to the core. Huh? No way. Hinata is so timid. Naruto frowned. Well, I'm not saying it's bad to be timid, but will Hinata be my true love? I always feel. This is not reliable. Maybe it's the reason why I don't have much feelings for her. It doesn't matter. Let's get along slowly. We are still young and it will be 10 years before we talk about marriage. Sasuke shrugged nonchalantly. It makes sense, but I think Hinata's reaction, she must like you. I didn't see it. You blush whenever you talk to her, isn't that proof? You are really an idiot. You blindly blind such a nice girl. If I weren't not interested in women, I would definitely attack Hinata. Sasuke deliberately provoked. Don't, my master said. You can't bully your friends' wives, Naruto said seriously. Is this your wife? Ahem, it's just a title. Let's get along with her first. Since the master has designated her as his wife, she should be able to find different shining points. Naruto suddenly thought of something. By the way, why second true love? And what about first true love? First true love must be better than second true love, right? Can I choose this? Get out. Don't even think about it. Sasuke became anxious. No. Okay. Why are you so anxious all of a sudden? Let me ask who your second true love is? Naruto didn't know why. Shut up. Only Hinata. A second true love is impossible for you in this life. Sasuke gritted his teeth. I felt an indescribable feeling in my heart. The reason why he didn't tell Naruto was that he asked the same question at that time, who was Naruto's first true love? Result, Uncle Jing never told him. He also said that if he knew, he might not be able to look directly at Naruto. But Sasuke's character is that he will not give up until he achieves his goal. Under his pressure, Uncle Mirror told Naruto's first true love. That is, himself. WTF? Naruto's first true love is me? When hearing this answer, Sasuke's young mind suffered an unprecedented impact. Advertisement. Because of his admiration and respect for Uncle Jing, he never thought that these words were false, so he instinctively made up a series of pictures in his mind. For example, falling in love with Naruto, hold hands with Naruto, go shopping with Naruto, and even get married. On a deeper level, he didn't dare to think about it. Goosebumps broke out all over his body at that time. He decisively stopped thinking about it and always reminded himself. He must not let his friendship with Naruto deteriorate. And Naruto just asked. I must be impatient, and my impatient eyes will reveal the truth. But no matter how insane Naruto was, he couldn't think of that level. Seeing that Sasuke was going crazy, he didn't continue to ask. The two chatted, then finished the theoretical class in the afternoon. It was time for school to end at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Naruto was holding a small school bag at the school gate and looked at Sasuke next to him. School is almost over, what are you going to do when you go back? Didn't you tell me? Ask my brother to learn the moving target. The practical courses in kindergarten are too low level. I want to graduate as soon as possible, Sasuke said firmly. So diligent? Well, then I can't lose to you. I'll let my dad teach me when I go back. Goodbye. Goodbye. The two said goodbye. Sasuke soon returned home. As soon as I opened the door, I saw my brother putting on his shoes and seemed to be going out. Brother. Where are you going? I need to go out for something, what's the matter? I want you to teach me how to use kunai to stab a moving target, brother. You promised me before, Sasuke said aggrievedly. Sorry, it was the clan leader who called me to give me a mission. Uchiha Itachi poked his forehead and smiled gently. Forgive me, Sasuke. Next time, I will teach you when I come back next time. Okay. Sasuke wasn't happy though, but when he heard that it was the clan leader calling Itachi about a mission, he stopped acting like a child. Letting Uchiha Itachi leave the house, he soon came to the patriarch's courtyard and saw the patriarch who had been waiting for him in the courtyard. Clan leader, you call me, Itachi bowed politely. Just call me uncle in private. By the way, it's Sasuke's first day at school. How is it? Uchiha Kagami asked. It's good. I heard it's quite popular with girls anyway, Itachi said with a smile. Haha, it's almost the same as when you were in school. We Uchiha are all more handsome than the other. It's normal for us to be popular. Uchiha Kagami looked back with memories. When I was young, I was also very popular with girls. You're right, Itachi said humbly. Let's get down to business. I called you here to assign you an S-level mission. I need you to sneak into the Kingdom of Water, Uchiha Kagami said seriously. Sneaking into the Kingdom of Water? What is the specific mission? Itachi asked. Investigating a person. Who? Hoshigaki Kisame. Chapter 200 An Honest Man, The Life of Hoshigaki Kisame. Advertisement, Hoshigaki Kisame? Never heard of it. Uchiha Itachi pondered for a moment and said, Clan leader, is there anything special about this person? There's nothing special about him. He and the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost have a relationship of superior and subordinate. Uchiha Kagami said, it's just that during the Third Ninja War, all the Fugu ghosts in Watermelon Mountain were killed by Minato alone, and Hoshigaki Kisame inherited the sword Samahata. It can be regarded as the 7th second-generation ninja swordsman. According to the news coming from the root, Kirigakure's blood mist policy has become more and more intense, and Hoshigaki Kisame seems to be completely involved. Go and investigate him. If possible, it would be good to become friends with him. Instigating rebellion? Itachi said clearly, yes. Uncle Jing, I don't quite understand. Uchiha Itachi scratched his head. Just to instigate a person to rebel, you have to make such a big fanfare. No matter how good Hoshigaki Kisame is, we have a lot of talents in Konoha now. We don't lack this person, right? What's your real reason for inciting him to rebel? Well, there is one reason. He is an honest man, Jing said bluntly. Uchiha Kagami was a little confused. What does an honest person mean? Does this have anything to do with his current experience in Kirigakure? It's related, but I can't elaborate on it with you. Uchiha Kagami said slowly. Anyway, you sneak into the Kingdom of Water to contact Hoshigaki Kisame. If you can come forward to instigate him, we do not lack talents in Konoha, but Hoshigaki Kisame is not comparable to ordinary talents. By the way, pay attention to safety and try not to enter Kirigakure. Uchiha Madara has been resurrected. I told you this news before. His current base camp is in Kirigakure, but the Kingdom of Water is still relatively safe. Be careful. If necessary, call for backup at any time. By the way, I will ask Shisui to act with you. Clan leader, I can do it alone. No, it's better to be cautious. After all, that is Uchiha Madara's lair. You are still young and have not yet opened the Mangekyō Sharingan. Shisui is experienced and you have a tacit understanding and look after each other. Yes, Patriarch. Itachi nodded respectfully. Then I went home again and started packing my equipment. Uchiha Kagami waited until Itachi left, and Shisui walked out behind him with a suspicious look on his face. Grandpa, are you really just interested in that Hoshigaki Kisame? Or, is it actually for Itachi? You still understand me. Of course it's for Itachi's sake. Uchiha Kagami said with emotion. Itachi is too young now. Without Mangekyō Sharingan, he can only be regarded as a first-time Jonin. Now that the situation in the ninja world is getting more and more tense, we must find a way to make him awaken Mangekyō. Huh? Grandpa. Mangekyō needs to be witnessed. Wait. Shisui looked up at his grandfather and suddenly realized something. Grandpa, are you planning to let Itachi activate Mangekyō through me? I'm not worried about myself, but will it fail? No, Itachi will turn on Mangekyō and you will be fine. Uchiha Kagami patted his shoulder. By the way, Morino Ihiki's torture department has been fighting Kirigakure for a while, and it is expected that they will confront Kisame and the others. If there is an accident, you should give priority to protecting your own people. If you encounter an enemy that you cannot deal with, don't be afraid. With me behind you. All difficulties will not be a problem. Yes, Grandpa. Shisui was confused though, but he didn't ask any questions and left with his bag on his back. Then he found Itachi and the two of them went together towards the Kingdom of Water. And Uchiha Kagami's purpose of doing this is just to instigate Kisame casually. His real purpose is not for Kisame. This time, he's going to do something big. Within the Kingdom of Water, in the dark and lightless jungle. Advertisement Kirigakure's signal department was taking a break, warming themselves by a campfire and grilling some meat. A young man with blue skin and gills under his eyes was leaning against the tree holding his Samahata sword. He didn't talk to the people in the code department either, he just closed his eyes and rested. His mission this time was to escort the intelligence personnel of the signal department back to the village, but Master 4th Mizuga Jigura issued other hidden instructions. That is, it would be great if we could escort him back. But if they cannot be escorted, it is better to eliminate the trouble directly than to be captured alive by the enemy. These people are all professionals from the code department, and they have a lot of code information. Once these important personnel fall into the hands of Konoha, Kirigakure will suffer a lot. Kisame also had no objection, because he does too many tasks like this. As an honest person, he just wants to do his job honestly and doesn't care about anything else. Rather than saying he is an honest person, it would be better to say that he is a real ninja, a person who abandons all personal emotions, and the original work also directly killed his companions. In order to prevent the information from flowing into the enemy country. After returning to the village, he reported it to the pufferfish ghost queen of Zigwa Mountain, thinking that he had completed the task well. But he discovered that his boss had already collaborated with the enemy and treason. And using the village's information in exchange for money, this made Hoshigaki Kisame's mentality of killing his companions in order to protect the information suffered a serious impact, so he killed his boss, Suigamiyama Fugoge, in anger. Then, he was taken under Obito's disguise as Madara. It can be regarded as one of the few people who knew about Project Tsuki no Mi in the early days. And his purpose of following Madara, Obito, at that time was just because he was confused in life and lost interest in this cruel world. Then, he hopes to see the world of illusion. That's a beautiful world without intrigue or deception. But later during the Fourth Ninja War, in order to desperately protect the information from being tortured by the enemy, he directly let a shark bite him to death until the final tragic ending. Towards the end, the person he was thinking of was not Madara. Instead, Itachi, whom he respected, showed up and believed that he was indeed as hopeless as he said. But this time Kisame's fate has not changed, because the reason why the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost was selling information about the village was only under the orders of Yagura, the fourth Mizukage, and the fourth Mizukage was controlled by Obito at the time in order to cause civil strife in Kirigakure. Thus taking control of the village, Kirigakure's blood mist policy. From the beginning of the ninja school, fighting and selecting the best to graduate, to becoming a ninja and being stabbed in the back by peers, and being killed by peers. This is actually the function of the blood mist policy, and the personality formation of Hoshigaki Kisame. This policy is at least 80% responsible, and now. The blood mist policy has not stopped. Even without Obito, Madara still exists. It is much easier for him to control the fourth Mizukage than Obito, and as long as all the high-level officials are controlled by him, there is no detectable trick at all. As for the tragic life of an honest person, Madara actually has a lot to blame for it. But this time, Uchiha Kagami changes Kisame's fate. Partly because of the mission, but mostly because of Itachi. Chapter 201 This cruel world was not created by me. Advertisement Hoshigaki Kisame was sitting against a tree trunk a few meters away, while his companions, across from him, were eating barbecue. And one of them was a long-haired woman. He had a very gentle appearance. He came over and said thoughtfully, "Mr. Gonshi, can you sit down and eat together? We don't have much time. Should we seize the time to eat and rush back to the village as soon as possible to send back the information?" "Sorry, please don't get close to me." Hoshigaki Kisame's tone was cold but very polite. "My mission is only to protect you. I don't want to have any interaction with you. I'm not hungry either. You should eat and leave as soon as possible, don't waste time." "Then when the mission is over, can I have a dinner date with you?" the long-haired woman asked. No, Kisame refused. "All right, women with long hair don't mind either." He turned around and continued eating, but suddenly. Boom, a kunai flew over. There is also a detonating charm hanging on it. "Someone is coming. Let's go." Hoshigaki Kisame pulled the woman and left here on the soles of her feet. But as the screams came out, the explosion directly reduced the number of 2 people. There are now only 4 people left in the Mist Shinobi Code Department. Capture the enemy alive. Don't let them escape. Yes. Konoha's torture department. Ibiki Mori, who took the lead, gave the order coldly. Including him, a full 7 elites rushed towards them. Damn it. The opponents are all Konoha's elites. You retreat first, and I will hold them back. Samahata destroying slash. Hoshigaki Kisame raised his hand. He picked up the big knife in his hand and slashed at Morino Ihiki. But Morino Ihiki is not a weakling either. In addition, Hoshigaki Kisame is still young and far from his prime. The former held a samurai sword to block Samahata, but Morino Ihiki took 2 steps back and looked at the shark young man in front of him, his expression slightly condensed. What a powerful force. You will also be a threat to Konoha in the future. It's a pity that those people from the code department are our main course. I'll hold this shark face down while you go chase that woman. Remember to survive. Yes, Master Ibiki. The people from the torture department dispersed immediately. But how could Hoshigaki Kisame let them leave? While forming a seal with one hand, his right hand pointed to the sky. Mist Shinobi technique, Water Dragon Bomb technique. The weather suddenly darkened. The surrounding air was filled with thick fog. As a water dragon bomb flew towards him, Morino Iiki used fire style to offset it, but when he was about to pursue him, he realized that the person had disappeared. Ibixie's face was gloomy, and the scars at the corners of his eyes twitched. Those people in the code department are all intelligence personnel, and they have almost no combat effectiveness. They can't run far, chase me, go at full speed. Yes, Ibiki-sama. The people of Konoha hurriedly gave chase. Hoshigaki Kisame was also fleeing, and the two sides began a pursuit. But the good thing is, Hoshigaki Kisami's moved just now. At least it delayed him a little bit, allowing him to catch up with his companions. Mr. Makasaki, it's great that you're okay. The woman with long brown hair covered her mouth, a look of worry on her face. This made Hoshigaki Kisami's heart waver, but his numb heart quickly cooled down and he glanced at the woman and several companions behind him. Advertisement, feel sorry, I have to kill you, you can't escape at your speed. Someone was scared and argued. Why? Those people from the Konoha torture department, even if I am captured alive, I will never betray the village. No, I don't believe it. I will not let the enemy get you alive. This is the order from above. Hoshigaki Kisame didn't talk nonsense to them. He pulled out another katana from his waist and hacked them to death. Only the woman with long brown hair was left. The blade in Hoshigaki Kisami's hand paused for a moment, but he still chopped the woman to the ground. Blood flowed all over the ground, but there was no hatred in the woman's eyes. On the contrary, she looked at Kisami's numb face, and her tone was still very gentle. Mr. Mikigaki, your life must be very difficult. Hoshigaki Kisami's heart twitched. The gentle woman on the ground soon became completely silent. Before he could do anything, Konoha's torture department was chasing after him again, and he turned around and left. Without the burden, he quickly returned to the village. Inside the Mizukage building, from the dark corner, Yagura came out. Mizukage-sama, I have completed my mission. All 6 intelligence officers from the signal department were silenced by me, and Konoha was not captured. Good job, Kisame, go get some rest, Mizukage said. Are there no other tasks? No, Goji Yagura shook his head. But Hoshigaki Kisame looked behind him with sharp eyes. Who is sneaking around? Standing behind Mizukage-sama. Get out of here. You have a strong sense of vigilance, Hoshigaki Kisame, I saw the right person. The words just fell. I saw only the wolfberry behind Yagura. A man wearing a vortex mask stepped out. He clapped his hands with admiration and looked at Kisame unceremoniously. Who are you? Me. I am the shadow of Uchiha Madara, the masked man said. Huh? What do you mean? Kisame frowned. It's nothing. What I can tell you is that, to a certain extent, Kirigakure is now under my control, the masked man said proudly. What? You mean? You control the 4th Mizukage? Kisami's pupils tightened. That's right. The masked man said bluntly. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you kill them or not, because the information held by the signal department has been sold to other villages by me a long time ago, and their lives and lives are no longer important. That is to say, Kisami's shark eyes stared at him. I have been eradicating my companions all these years, is it your order? I did it. The masked man chuckled. Die, the masked man just admitted. Hoshigaki Kisame grinned. Baring his sharp teeth, he picked up the big knife in his hand. He jumped up and slashed towards the opponent's head. But the other party didn't even bother to hide. The Sharingan with double eyes suddenly transformed into Mangekyō, and the twisted shape exuded amazing eye power, directly shocking and controlling the opponent. Hoshigaki Kisami's thinking became rigid, and he gritted his teeth and said, Who are you? What is the purpose of controlling Kirigakure behind your back? My purpose is simple, for peace in the ninja world. The masked man looked at him and said in a sincere tone, This is also for Madara-sama's will. I can understand you doing something to me. Maybe you think I deceived you, and made you kill each other? But if it weren't for me, you wouldn't do this. You are wrong. The ninja's principle is to do the mission at all costs, even if you kill your companions, so you will still do it. Kisame, this cruel world was not created by me. Chapter 202 Instigating rebellion against Kisame and fighting the masked man again. Advertisement, Hoshigaki Kisame was stunned. The other party seemed to be right, but it felt like he was quibbling. It's just that as an honest person, he seems to have no other words to refute the other party, because this cruel world is indeed not created by him. And ninja. It seems very noble. To common people, he looks like a big shot. But it is an even more cruel profession. To put it bluntly, it is a profession of killing people. Ninjas are either killing people or on the way to kill, and not only kill their enemies, but sometimes even their companions. Even if 4th Mizukage has no control, but as a high-ranking member of Kirigakure, wouldn't one day suddenly issue an order to silence his companions? This is absolutely impossible, because this is for the 5 major ninja villages, and even the entire ninja world. Such orders are actually very common for ninjas, and the ninja's bounden duty is to obey orders for the benefit of the collective village. And he, Hoshigaki Kisame, considers himself a very dedicated ninja. In fact, relatively speaking, ninjas who abandon collective interests for personal interests are freaks in this world. Only, when I think about killing my companions for so many years. I was almost numb at first, but finally I discovered the truth of the matter. And in the end, the woman with long brown hair didn't even resent herself. She just said, Mr. Mikiki, your life must be very difficult, right? Such a gentle woman was still thinking about herself even before she died. To be honest, Kisame has actually had its ups and downs. If it weren't for his vocation as a ninja, he would abandon his personal emotions. Otherwise, he actually wants to put aside all grudges and responsibilities and have a peaceful meal with this woman. Pity, the woman is dead. He died in his own hands, and now his body is not found. Faced with the masked man's straightforward confession, he didn't even know what he should do. How would he continue his life? Hoshigaki Kisame put down the Samahata sword in his hand, with a slightly complicated look on his face. You were right, this cruel world was not created by one person. Even without you, killing each other is inevitable. But, this world cannot be changed. Since it can't be changed, why don't we create a new world? The masked man vowed. What? Recreate a world? Are you kidding me? No, I'm serious. I have a plan called Project Tsuki no Mi. The content of the plan is very simple. It requires collecting the nine-tailed beasts as a prerequisite, and it requires Rinnegan to cast the ultimate illusion, Infinite Tsukuyomi. The masked man said in a high voice. This illusion can envelope the entire world and make everyone in the world fall into a dream. In the dream, everyone is the protagonist, and there is no war. A world of eternal peace. This is my plan. Infinite Tsukuyomi, the ultimate illusion that covers the whole world. Hoshigaki Kisame didn't realize it. He instinctively felt that the other party was not lying. He generally believed the other party, but he still had some doubts about this plan. The nine-tailed beasts are not simple monsters. You alone? Can you collect nine-tailed beasts? And Konoha is not that easy to deal with. That Uchiha Kagami is said to be very powerful. It is even said that he is not weaker than the former Senju Hashirama and Madara. The masked man said disdainfully. Haha, you just completely believed the rumors. Madara-sama and Senju Hashirama fought against each other not long ago and won. While Uchiha Kagami was watching from the sidelines and was not even qualified to intervene. It is true that he was able to defeat the five shadows by himself, and his strength is comparable to one of the best, but he can't even defeat Senju Hashirama, so how can he face Madara-sama? You mean, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama are resurrected? Advertisement, certainly, FK, Hoshigaki Kisame's eyes widened. There was a look of shock in Shark's eyes. This kind of news is really shocking. After all, the names of these two people are worthy of being looked up to by the entire ninja world. And when he heard that Madara had defeated Hashirama, Kagami was too scared to leave. As an honest person, Hoshigaki Kisame believed again and was completely convinced of this Eye of the Moon plan. Do you believe it now? The leader behind Project Tsuki no Mi is Madara-sama? The masked man said respectfully. Madara-sama is not really resurrected yet, he is just a body of filthy earth, but it will be very soon before he is truly resurrected. By that time, we can create a new world. Okay, great, thank you for inviting me, I really want to see that perfect world. Hoshigaki Kisame's confused heart became firm again, and he suddenly coughed a few times and said, Can I meet Madara-sama? Although I am not his fan brother, such a legendary figure reappears. I still want to take a look at Zunrong, is that okay? Madara-sama has gone out and is not in Kirigakure now, wait until he comes back. Who? The masked man hasn't finished speaking yet. His expression suddenly changed, and he turned his head to look into the shadows. Chua. I saw a figure running out. Shisui holds a blade with flames filling it. Uchiha-style flame slash. The teleportation technique is quite fast. Shisui's progress over the years has been amazing. But the masked man has not been idle these years. He casually pulled out the katana from Kisame's waist, and lightning style instantly covered the blade. Clang. Their blades collided. There was a fierce metal collision sound. Shisui and the masked man took several steps back at the same time. Hoshigaki Kisame, follow me. Just then, Uchiha Itachi took the opportunity to approach. He raised his hand and clasped Hoshigaki Kisame's wrist. Just when he was about to take action, Hoshigaki Kisame was unwilling to follow him at all. He had finally determined his life goal, how could he give up? Who are you? My name is Uchiha Itachi, don't let me go astray again. What is the wrong path? This world is so cruel, if you can't change it, then create a perfect world. What's wrong with that? But that's Uchiha Madara's scam, you don't understand. Yes, I don't understand. Hoshigaki Kisame was too lazy to talk nonsense with him. I feel that the boy in front of me looks young, but his manner of speaking is a bit mature, but his manner is quite friendly. Otherwise, this kid just touched his wrist, so it's time to chop it with Samahata. On the other side, Shisui has already started a second round of battle with the masked man, but due to the addition of Three Tails Jinchuriki Yagura, it is not easy for Shisui to fight them. Uchiha Itachi was anxious. If the clan leader hadn't given him the task of instigating rebellion against Kisame. He didn't even bother to talk nonsense. Now he was more worried about the safety of brother Shisui, so he just broke the pot and threw it. Chapter 203 Angry Three Tails, Distinguished Heavenly Gods Activate. Advertisement, did you forget that glass? Itachi asked. Who? As for the woman who was killed by your own hands in the end, she had actually been in love with you for a long time. She finally came into contact with you during this mission. She wanted to have a dinner date with you, but you killed her. Note. The woman doesn't have a name. She probably doesn't have one. She just picked it up casually. Impossible. She has been admiring me for a long time? Is there anyone like me? Kisame didn't believe it. I investigated all this. I have been investigating your information for a long time. You have been killing your companions all your life, so you are numb and have no ideals. And the moment you saw the masked man, you did not kill him? Uchiha Itachi said evasively. He told you that this cruel world was not created by him? It is true, but you killed your companions, and even the woman who admired you, all were indirectly killed by the masked man and Uchiha Madara. You don't care about other people, but what about that woman? Even if you don't like him, but the woman who loves you so much. In the end, I only felt sorry for you until my death, but you completely gave up on revenge? What's the use of revenge? Everyone is dead. Hoshigaki Kisame gritted his teeth and said stubbornly. There is enough hatred in this world. I don't want to face this hatred anymore. I just want to complete Project Tsuki no Mi, and live in that dream world. If you can meet her, it's not impossible to have a meal. People can be resurrected even after death. Besides, if you really want to see the dream world, our clan leader, Uchiha Kagami, can help you fulfill your wish. You don't necessarily have to let Madara do it, Itachi said. But, Kisame struggled. Uchiha Kagami seems to be unable to beat Madara. I don't think highly of him. You know nothing. The clan leader is the strongest in the world. Anyway, I'm too lazy to tell you. I'm going to support brother Shisui. Anyway, this is an ultimatum, if you make the wrong choice. If you die here, you won't have the chance to go to the dream world. You don't want to. Never see the woman who loves you again, right? Uchiha Itachi finished. No matter what Hoshigaki Kisame chooses. Go straight there and support brother Shisui. Itachi, don't come here, you can't beat them. Fire-style great fireball technique. Shisui was still struggling to hold on. Raise your hands to form a seal, open your mouth and spit out large fireballs. Yagura raised her hand and pressed it, and a mirror made of water appeared, with a figure like Shisui emerging from it. Hooray! He also spit out fireballs, and the fireballs both collided. The two sides fell into a stalemate, and Shisui thought to himself, I am not yet 18 years old today, and Mangekyō has not yet deeply awakened. And according to the existing intelligence, the masked man is likely to be the same generation as his grandfather. The other party's Mangekyō awakening depth is much stronger than mine, and with the addition of Yagura, if the other party uses tailed beast transformation at the same time. I'm afraid I'm no match, and I have to find a way to break the situation. It seems like I can only rely on that. You dare to be distracted while fighting me. Yagura, go all out. The masked man sneered. While forming a seal with one hand, he controls the Mizukage. Chua. Gochujang Yagura's whole body glowed with red chakra. In an instant, it turned into a red three-tails monster. This was the half-tailed beast mode, and its speed was astonishingly fast. In the blink of an eye, appeared in front of Shisui. Coral Palm, no, this move is dangerous and must be avoided. Susanoo. Shisui wanted to avoid it, but the speed is not enough, and the masked man is watching eagerly. He could only rise into the sky with chakra all over his body, shrouded his half-body Susanoo, and knocked away the half-tailed beast Yagura with a casual blow. However, there was no time to take advantage of the victory. A pale white twisted divine sword fell down. Advertisement. God kill. It's over. A flaw was discovered. Shisui's heart skipped a beat. The opponent caught his attack gap. He had no time to counterattack, so he could only raise Susanoo's arms and collided with the opponent's white twisted sword. Boom. The ground cracked. The entire Mizukage building was razed to the ground. However, as the force of space distortion erupted from the blade of the twisted divine sword, half of Susanoo's arms were twisted. Shisui. Susanoo's defense also has weak points. Under such an attack, Susanoo can't protect you. Just die, ha ha ha. The masked man laughed ferociously. Immediately take control of Yagura and transform completely into a tailed beast. Tailed beast level chakra fluctuations swept the entire place, and as the monster roared, a large amount of chakra condensed in front of his mouth. Tailed beast bomb. God-killing sword. Both of them attack in very accurate directions. It was heading towards the crystal block protecting Susanoo's head. But, Shisui didn't panic at all. Mangekyō's eyes suddenly turned. The astonishing pupil power was about to be released, and the masked man was filled with fear. He thought of the time when he initially planned to capture Shisui alive, and the other party also used this eye technique. When he sensed the crisis of life and death, he immediately ran away. Now, coming again? The masked man directly stopped Yagura's tailed beast bomb. Forcibly controlling the fourth Mizukage with Mangekyō, and letting the huge body of three tails block in front of him, preventing the other party from forming a visual focus on him. Distinguished Heavenly Gods, with a low drink. Shisui activated Distinguished Heavenly Gods for the first time. The pupil power of Distinguished Heavenly Gods was conveyed to Three Tails' minds through their eyes. He quietly implanted the idea of, serve me as master, into Three Tails' minds, and Three Tails immediately released the masked man's control. What's the situation? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? And Three Tails after waking up. I was confused at first, but soon I thought of my miserable life. Originally, it was carefree at the bottom of Kirigakure. He ate some fish and shrimp from time to time, but was beaten up by Uchiha Kagami. Later, he was controlled by Uchiha Madara and implanted into the body of a girl named Lin. After death, he was finally resurrected, but his fate was still miserable. They forcibly implanted it into Yagura's body. Being manipulated by humans in this way, such anger made it hate the masked man to the core, and wished it could be crushed to pieces. Damn humans, damn masked men, die. Three Tails opened its mouth and roared angrily. A large amount of chakra condenses, and the tailed beast bomb is constantly forming. What? Seeing this scene, the masked man looked horrified and stared at Shisui. You actually released my control of three tails? Impossible. In order to perfectly control three tails, I even asked Mr. Ban to inject pupil power. Even if you are a perfect Jinchuriki, you will never be able to break away from the Genjutsu. What on earth was that pupil technique you used just now? Chapter 204 Shisui's Death. Uchiha Itachi awakens Mangekyō. Advertisement to know, perfect Jinchuriki can dispel illusions. But they are not immune to illusions, and the principle of Jinchuriki's ability to dispel illusions is very simple. In fact, one party discovers that the other party is under an illusion, and interferes with the chakra injected into it, thereby releasing the control of the illusion. Sharingan's dispelling of illusions works on the same principle. And why? What about Yagura, who is the perfect Jinchuriki, but has never been able to release the control of the Genjutsu? Because Three Tails was controlled by him in the wild state after resurrection, and Yagura was controlled by him with Sharingan before he became the perfect Jinchuriki, both of them fell into the illusion in advance. And what follows? It's no use that Yagura gradually becomes perfect Jinchuriki. First of all, they fell under the illusion very early. The most important thing is to find the traces of the illusion so that they can remove the illusion for each other. And both parties have been under the illusion for many years, so it is almost impossible to remove the illusion. And in order to fully master Three Tails Jinchuriki, he even asked him to strengthen the injection of pupil power after Ban-sama was resurrected. Shisui also possesses Mangekyō Sharingan, but how long did it take for this kid to wake up before he was still young? Is it comparable to his and Mr. Ban's pupil power bonus? Therefore, in his view, Gochujang Yagura will never be able to remove the Genjutsu for the rest of his life. But what I never expected was that the other party directly released Three Tails control and even respected Shisui. How is this possible? However, this is the power of distinguished heavenly gods. Distinguished heavenly gods works on the same principle as most illusions. However, the power of distinguished heavenly gods is that it is based on illusion, exerting psychological suggestions and changing the will of others. The simpler the psychological suggestion, the easier it is to tamper with, and it is done without others' consciousness. This leads to people who fall into distinguished heavenly gods. There is almost no difference between peace and normal, so it is almost impossible to remove the distinguished heavenly gods, unless it is a higher level Rinnegan. No comment. Faced with the masked man's question, Shisui sneered. If it were before, Shisui might even show off a bit. But after a beating from his grandfather, he now tells no one about distinguished heavenly gods. Chie. Three Tails' tailed beast bomb comes out with a bang. The masked man didn't even look at it, his body was covered with Susanoo. The god-killing sword in his hand directly exploded with the power of space distortion, directly erasing the tailed beast bomb without any threat at all. Come again. Three Tails was unconvinced. Also plan on casting tailed beast bomb. But Shisui called him back, and Three Tails stood behind him respectfully. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame, who had been watching the game from the sidelines, couldn't help but sigh. So strong. Tisk tisk, you are worthy of Shisui, brother. Shisui looked at the masked man not far away with a stern look in his eyes. It seems that I have won this time. Last time we let you escape from our hands, but this time you have no chance. Just let us catch you. You think you're sure to win? The masked man sneered. Isn't it true? Uchiha Madara is not in Kirigakure, and you still want to resist on your own? Who am I alone? Do it. The masked man laughed ferociously. Behind Shisui, a dark figure emerged. What? You're Black Zetsu. Shisui was about to defend, but after casting distinguished heavenly gods, the chakra consumption was too great. Moreover, the opponent's aura was completely undetectable. During the sneak attack, Black Zetsu stuck to his body and covered about half of it. Advertisement, my consciousness. Shisui was flustered in his heart. It's actually fading? The other party is trying to steal my consciousness. No, it must not be allowed to succeed. Jia, Shisui, you and Uchiha Kagami have underestimated me. Do you really think that I, Black Zetsu, am a weak person? You have consumed too much chakra, and the move just now seems to have caused a lot of damage to your mental state. Black Zetsu chuckled ferociously. As the third son of Otsutsuki Kagaya. Although he is not even a person, if you really underestimate him, you will suffer. In order to resurrect his mother, how could he survive in the ninja world for thousands of years if he didn't even have the ability to protect himself? With his Black Zetsu's, yin-yang escaped spiritual possession. Not to mention just Shisui, even if Madara becomes the second sage of six paths, giving him a chance to sneak attack, he can be cured. Itachi. Run, Shisui murmured. He felt his willpower ebbing away. It's not that he disappeared completely, but he was suppressed by Black Zetsu's will. The guardian of Three Tails was eager to protect his master, but was knocked away by the masked man Susanoo. Do you want to control him, or kill him? Black Zetsu asked. Kill him. The boy's pupil technique just now can break the Sharingan control of me and Mr. Ban. He is less than 20 years old now. When he grows up, he may be another Uchiha Kagami, the masked man said coldly. Okay. Then do it, The masked man holds a katana. Poof. It pierced Shisui's abdomen directly. This wasn't over yet, his abdomen was completely torn apart. The Hashirama cells in Shisui's body had no time to heal, and a large amount of blood flowed out, making the scene horrific. No, you deserve to die. Uchiha Itachi stared at them. Looking at brother Shisui who was about to die, His three Tomo Sharingan began to stick together, and his scarlet eyes transformed into a special Mangekyō shape due to the mental shock. I want you dead. Amaterasu, Uchiha Itachi burst into tears. But the killing intent burst out from his eyes the moment Mangekyō awakened. The right eye focused, and black immortal flames came out of the pupil and rushed in the direction of the masked man. Another pair of Mangekyō? And you can cast Amaterasu just after awakening? This kid can't stay. Tisk. The masked man's Mangekyō spun around. The space suddenly distorted, erasing Amaterasu easily. But Itachi had just awakened Mangekyō, and the mental shock was too great, so he used Amaterasu and passed out on the spot. Pity, if you and Shisui had risen in my time, maybe our Uchiha would have replaced the Senju clan long ago, and we would have had the turn of that old Yinbi from Tobirama. To shit on my clan's head? Now everything I do is for Madara-sama, I'm sorry. The masked man walked over step by step. There was a little compassion for his fellow humans in his eyes, but more of determination and ruthlessness. He raised the katana in his right hand, which was still dripping with blood, and was about to strangle the future Uchiha young genius in the cradle. Suddenly, a red light flashed before his eyes. Two people appeared in front of him. Poof! The masked man had no time to react. He saw that the opponent easily snatched his blade away. When he raised his hand and dropped it, one of his arms was cut off, and blood suddenly spurted out. Who? Chapter 205. The identity of the masked man is revealed, past grudges and disputes. Advertisement. The masked man turned pale. I finally saw the true face of the person coming. I saw a head of black curly hair. As the current strongest clan leader of the Uchiha clan, he grabbed his neck with his hand. Lift him up like a chicken. Uchiha Kagami looked at him as if he were a dead man, with cold eyes and said, the unknown Uchiha traitor dares to kill my grandson. And my valued descendant, I will make you regret living in this world. Uchiha Kagami, you're actually here? The masked man still wants to show off his strength. To mobilize chakra, cast Susanoo. But, the next second, something abnormal appeared on his body surface. Black lines covered his body, causing his body to completely freeze and unable to move at all. This is the seal of self-karma's curse. The masked man's pupils tightened. It's pretty good, but this move is different from Danzo's. Even if Uchiha Madara is hit by this move, I have to stop for a second or two. Madara-sama will not. Uchiha Kagami was too lazy to listen to his nonsense. He came to Shisui and checked his injuries. The injury was indeed severe, and the internal organs were almost gutted, and Shisui's body had very few Hashirama cells, just to relieve him of Mangekyō's mental load. Such serious injuries were almost impossible to recover from. But the good thing is, he brought another man, Orochimaru. Save him, Orochimaru. Don't worry, as long as you have a breath, you can be saved anywhere. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth, after casually injecting a bottle of Hashirama cell recovery solution. Shisui's abdominal injury disappeared quickly. He woke up and looked at his grandfather leisurely, feeling a little guilty. Grandpa, I'm sorry. The mission you ordered me failed. No, you succeeded, and successfully. Is this also called success? Shisui said he didn't quite understand, but he was smart enough to see the restrained masked man. As well as Itachi, who was unconscious on the ground, he probably guessed a few things. It seemed that he was almost killed intentionally, but he didn't resent it in his heart, because his grandfather could even be resurrected. It was a true resurrection, not some impure world reincarnation. So, he had no fear for his own safety, and this mission seems to be just to instigate Kisame, but in fact it allows Itachi to complete Mangekyō's awakening through his own near death. But the most important thing is to capture the masked man alive. It seems you understand, Jing asked. I understand. As expected of my grandfather, everything is as you expected. Well, let's take a rest. Yes, Shisui stood behind him. The masked man also reacted, and his expression darkened. Advertisement, your real purpose is actually me? If not, Uchiha Kagami asked rhetorically. Of course he was interested in the masked man. Obito broke away from the control of the original plot and became the hero of Konoha. But who would have thought that Uchiha Madara actually supported the second chess piece, and this chess piece happened to awaken Mangekyō Sharingan, and Mangekyō Sharingan's ability is so similar to Obito's? This is not something that can be achieved simply. Of course he was curious about the true identity of the masked man, so he came in person. Everything before that, including Itachi's awakening of Mangekyō and his instigation of rebellion against Kisame, was done in order to personally unmask him. I want to see who you are. Uchiha Kagami is no nonsense. In full view of everyone, he raised his hand and took off his mask. But when the other person's face was completely revealed, everyone present did not recognize him or did not know him at all. I do not know. Shisui and Orochimaru were confused. The appearance under the mask is very ordinary, with long spiky black hair. The corners of his mouth were drooped, the left side of his face was intact, and the right side of his face was covered with messy and twisted scars. The whole person had a very cold temperament. But it's different from Danzo's coldness. This man's coldness was a bit unruly and twisted. But the moment Uchiha Kagami saw him, the memory came to his mind. He looked at the man's face and asked uncertainly. Setsuna. Are you Uchiha Setsuna? Mirror. As expected, you are the only one who recognized me. Uchiha was not surprised for a moment, and said with a sad expression. Back then, you and I were both the best in Konoha, and I was only 2 years older than you. We have been competing with each other privately, wanting to see who is Uchiha's future. But you and I have different ideas. You believe that the interests of the village are the first priority. The Uchiha clan should not launch a coup. You and I have been separated for many years. Later, you became Senju Tobirama's bodyguard. But Senju Tobirama has always been monitoring my Uchiha clan. He is wary of our clan like an enemy. Haha. How ridiculous. Senju and Uchiha founded Konoha together. But they kicked our Uchiha clan out of the center of power. Do you still think that the Uchiha clan is inherently evil and incapable of taking over the power of Konoha? What a ridiculous logic. Why does he Senju Tobirama? Second brother is right, he is in a high position. Uchiha Kagami disagreed. Either you have strength or ability. Senju Tobirama's ability to govern is beyond doubt. If it weren't for his lack of strength, he would even be more suitable to be first Hokage than Hashirama. At that time, how many people in the clan were capable and powerful? None. Even you and I seem to be the best in the family, but in fact there is no Mangekyō Sharingan. How dare you call yourself a genius of the Uchiha clan? How can you secure the position of Hokage if you have no strength or ability? Don't you have it now, don't you? Uchiha sneered in an instant. You have been strong enough for a long time. You are even brothers with Senju Tobirama. If you want to be a Hokage, Tobirama will not agree? Do you think I am a traitor to the Uchiha clan? Haha. You Uchiha Kagami are the biggest traitor. It doesn't matter whether you agree or not. What's important is that your vision is low, but I don't blame you. After all, it's normal that your strength is too low and your structure is low. When I was weak at the beginning, I was interested in Hokage, but as I became stronger and stronger, I felt more and more that Madara was not abandoned by the family when she left Uchiha. Uchiha Kagami said calmly, it's that he voluntarily abandoned the Uchiha clan. He saw the world from a higher perspective. In fact, if Project Tsuki no Mi has no drawbacks, I agree with it. And I also want to make the ninja world peaceful. At this level of my life, it doesn't matter whether I do Hokage or not. In fact, if I put it simply, I can level the ninja world alone. Do you believe it? Uchiha scorned for a moment. I believe you, you are bragging and not drafting. When Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama were fighting, you were so scared that you didn't even dare to intervene. You told me that one person can level the ninja world. Do you really think that I, Uchiha, have no brains? You laughed to death. Circle.operator oh circle.operator, Uchiha Kagami commented. Then you really have no brain. Chapter 206 Shocked Uchiha Setsuna, Madara's disappointment. Advertisement Uchiha Setsuna, there is indeed this person in the original work, but it is just a brief description. The description states that, this person is a cunning person who inherited the will of Uchiha Madara, and is very dissatisfied with the second Hokage's rule. However, in Jing's memory, the two of them had some interactions. The two are similar in age, and the latter was once the leader of the Uchiha clan. They were both rivals and friends at that time, but they had different ideas and eventually parted ways. During Senju Tobirama's reign, the Uchiha clan was assigned the responsibility of the Konoha police department. In fact, he did not make any extraordinary moves towards Uchiha. But no matter what, just surveillance, the arrogant Uchiha clan couldn't stand it. Of course, if you think about it the other way around, in fact, the Uchiha clan has an extreme personality, and it is normal for them to be targeted like this and actually want the coup to be completed. Therefore, at that time, the major elders in the clan, as well as outstanding young people, all wanted to resist the oppression of Senju Tobirama and seize the power that should belong to them, making the Uchiha clan the masters. And Uchiha did the same thing. Driven by the elders, Uchiha Setsuna, the young representative of the Hawks, immediately incited the tribe to launch a coup against Konoha one night after preparing for the juniors. Only, Tobirama, who has been monitoring Uchiha, has already noticed it. He was quickly arrested by Anbu members and placed under house arrest in prison. Senju Tobirama originally wanted to execute Uchiha Setsuna and a series of principals, but under the persuasion of Uchiha Kagami, second Hokage did not execute him, but planned to imprison him permanently. Speak the truth, he thought about many people being masked men. The only person ignored was Uchiha Setsuna. Uchiha heard the insult that Jing had given him in an instant. Instead of being angry, Uchiha said coldly, "You are amazing, you are noble, can you scold me now?" "Why did I scold you?" Jing raised an eyebrow. "Do you know how I was bullied in prison? Just because I was cunning, and just because I didn't do anything to start a coup? You are friendly and polite to others. Everyone loves you. Now, the whole of Konoha respects you. Am I not doing it for the Uchiha clan? I launched the coup, is it just for myself?" There were ripples on Uchiha's ferocious face for a moment. "I was imprisoned in prison, as a former friend. No one, whether it was you or anyone else, came to visit me, and I became a loner. Then, Madara-sama sent White Zetsu to rescue me, and also allowed me to awaken Mangekyō Sharingan by killing my closest relatives. My ability is, Godslayer, which can distort space." "I see," Uchiha Kagami suddenly understood. Uchiha moment, originally had a very vicious mind. After suffering a series of blows, his mind became more and more distorted. Uchiha Obito is escaping reality, so he awakens Kamui, who can escape reality, and Uchiha Setsuna is distorting reality. He doesn't need to hide from reality, he just wants to twist this cruel world and create a new world with Madara's will. I gradually understand Madara-sama, the family is so stupid, this cruel world needs to change. Uchiha said gloomily for a moment. I want to reach the highest step by step, step by step. Step by step, I want to follow Madara-sama to create a new world. What did I do wrong? Are you the only one who is right? Advertisement, I don't know if I'm wrong, but you must be wrong. Uchiha Kagami said sincerely. I told you, if Project Tsuki no Mi is really so perfect and can make everyone happy, without any hatred, it would be okay if everyone has been immersed in an illusory world. But, Project Tsuki no Mi has its drawbacks. It's not as beautiful as you imagined. I wouldn't tell anyone else, but you were once my friend, so I can tell you some inside stories. What's the inside story? Uchiha doesn't believe in evil for a moment. He instinctively felt that the other party was deceiving him. But it suddenly felt like it was unnecessary. Uchiha Kagami whispered a few words to him, and Uchiha was stunned for a moment. He glanced at Black Zetsu hiding in the corner. A hint of fear and disbelief flashed in the depths of his eyes. He looked at Uchiha Kagami again, and his tone became difficult. You didn't lie to me? Do I need to lie to you? What value do you have for me to lie to you? If there is anyone else under your mask, and you kill Shisui, I will kill him 10,000 times, but you are still alive now, do you understand? Jing sneered. Understood. Uchiha took a deep breath for a moment. He didn't look at Black Zetsu behind him, but his mind became calmer and calmer. Uchiha Kagami told himself that the so-called Project Tsuki no Mi was actually Black Zetsu, in order to resurrect his mother, the ancestor of Chakra Otsutsuki Kagaya, and the seemingly beautiful infinite Tsukuyomi. It doesn't keep people in genjutsu. Over time, they will transform into silly white Zetsu. It turns out that this is the real purpose of Project Tsuki no Mi. It turns out that all the darkness in the ninja world is caused by this dark thing. Even Madara-sama has been deceived? And Black Zetsu is not Madara-sama's will at all. No wonder he always felt something was wrong. This thing is so black and ugly, how could it be Madara-sama's will? Black Zetsu heard the two whispering a few words in his ears and was ready to run away at any time, but instinctively felt that he should not leave. Damn it, what exactly did Uchiha Kagami say to him? Black Zetsu was extremely anxious. Anyway, no one knows about the plan to resurrect his mother. At most, he is trying to instigate Uchiha Setsuna, but Uchiha Setsuna is very loyal to Madara and will not switch sides easily. Madara isn't coming yet. If you don't come, you're going to run away. While the two sides were confronting each other, suddenly, a figure appeared. Uchiha Madara, wearing red armor, holds a red-haired young man in his hand. There was nothing in Nagato's eyes. It was obvious that Madara personally went to Rain Shinobi village and took the Rinnegan back. I'm sorry, teacher, I couldn't save Rinnegan, Nagato said weakly. It's okay, Nagato. Uchiha Kagami's eyes narrowed slightly, revealing a hint of coldness. Uchiha Madara, after all, as a being who was once the pinnacle of the ninja world, it's a bit shameless to attack a junior like this, isn't it a bit shameful? To each other, didn't you also attack my subordinates? Uchiha Madara pointed at Setsuna, with a hint of disappointment in his eyes. What a waste. I thought you could hold on for a while, but I didn't expect to be captured alive like this. A waste among wastes. Chapter 207 Dust Escape Limited Stripping Technique, Wheel Tomb Border Prison. Advertisement, I let you down, Setsuna said guiltily. Now, you and I both have hostages in our hands, although my men are useless, they have been trained for a while. How about you and I change hostages? Uchiha Madara suggested with a chuckle. Okay, you give me Nagato, and I'll give you Setsuna. Okay. Both are heroes. There was no small move to throw the person out. Uchiha Kagami received Nagato and immediately asked Orochimaru to take over, stabilizing Nagato's injury. But, the moment Uchiha Madara received Setsuna, he raised his hand to remove the Sharingan from his right eye, replaced it with a Rinnegan, and made a one-handed seal with a grin. It's my turn. My body. Uchiha suddenly felt pain. His heart beat suddenly, and black iron rods emerged from his left arm. In order to speed up the progress, Black Zetsu even covered it, possessing it with the spirit of yin and yang, and forcibly suppressed Uchiha Setsuna's will. Madara-sama, what are you going to do? Uchiha said in pain for a moment. Of course you were resurrected, Setsuna. You are the chess piece I trained. I rescued you and implanted a control spell like Obito when you were unconscious, just to prevent Nagato from being unable to surrender. Uchiha Madara said lightly. Don't blame me, Setsuna, I can't wait any longer. I can give up anyone for resurrection, including my tribe, relatives, and you. It's my turn to be resurrected, Rinne Tensai technique. Uchiha's body was shaking for a moment. He could feel his will being easily suppressed by Black Zetsu. Coupled with the control of the spell, he had no room for resistance at all, and his black hair turned white in an instant. But, although he was in pain, he didn't feel any hatred at all. Because in his eyes, it was Madara who redeemed himself, and it was Madara who brought him out of the haze. Actually, Madara-sama, I already know my ending, you don't need to control me, just tell me and I will resurrect you. Uchiha Madara's ferocious expression, after a slight pause, his expression became complicated. Unfortunately, people's hearts are unpredictable. For me, loyalty is just a bargaining chip for betrayal. Hashirama used to be my best friend, but he ended up stabbing me in the back for Konoha. I can only do this. With the launch of Rinne Tensai technique, gas began to rise all over Uchiha Madara's body, and the dirty lines on her face disappeared. However, the Rinnegan with false eyes began to fall off, turning into a few pieces and dissipating, and he stuffed 2 Rinnegan in, and 2 strands of blood seeped out from the eye sockets, looking a bit miserable. But, with the help of Hashirama cells, healed almost instantly. Picking his eyes is too simple for him. And Uchiha Kagami stood quietly in front of him, letting Madara resurrect and embed the Rinnegan, and Uchiha Madara looked at him without moving at all, which made him slightly surprised. You didn't stop me? Or, Hashirama is also nearby. No, eldest brother is not here, it's just me. Jing shook his head. In other words, are you ready to die? Haha, maybe you are the one waiting to die? Do you think all this is under your control? Uchiha Madara. To tell you the truth, as long as you don't become 10 tails Jinchuriki for a day, you can't beat me. Uchiha Kagami said confidently. I have been invincible in the ninja world for too many years. Even my eldest brother is no longer my opponent. After resurrection, you. Although there is no magic blessing, it is enough for me to move my hands and feet. Ha ha ha. So crazy. I like it, Uchiha Madara said arrogantly. This is the first time I, Uchiha Madara, have seen such a crazy clansman like you, very similar to me back then. I hope you won't disappoint me later, otherwise I will kill you. Advertisement, then come on, I'll be waiting for you on the island.
Uchiha Kagami glanced at him. Orochimaru was told to keep Uchiha Setsuna alive for the time being.
Then a flying thunder god disappeared from the spot, and Madara glanced proudly at the mob in front of her, showing no interest in eradicating it. As a fighting maniac, he prefers to fight with strong men. Especially, the first battle after resurrection. Being able to use his own body to fight against the current generation of ninjas at the pinnacle of the world. The meaning was completely different, so he jumped and soon arrived on an island. Wow! The sea breeze blows constantly and the seagulls chirp. There are also some coconut trees on the island, and the two of them face each other dozens of meters apart. There was no nonsense between the two of them. The astonishing chakra on their bodies rose into the sky. Without any hint of temptation, Susanoo stood completely straight. What seemed like a large island turned into a small hill. Susanoo double sword slash. Susanoo double swords dance. The two of them stepped on the ground and kept swinging their blades. The chakra sword in his hand kept colliding, and astonishing fluctuations swept around. The island trembled, and the seawater kept rising. Clang. Dang. Dang, dang, a casual blow caused a tsunami. The island was razed to the ground, and the two became more and more courageous as they fought. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. This is the fight I want. Over the years, no one can match me except Hashirama, Uchiha Kagami. I recognize your strength. Your perfect body, Susanoo, is no worse than when I was at my peak. Unfortunately, I am much more skilled now. Without awakening the Rinnegan, you will not be able to defeat me after all. Tengai Shinsei. Uchiha Madara laughed wildly. I can feel my body stirring. This kind of fighting has been too long. He could feel the desire to fight becoming more and more intense, as if it had reached an indescribable state. While forming seals with both hands, two huge meteorites suddenly fell from the sky. But this was the move that crushed the ninja coalition in the first place. Uchiha Kagami actually didn't think of using Susanoo to resist, but took the initiative to cancel Susanoo, and clapped his hands while mobilizing chakra. Dust escape limited peeling technique in an instant. With a low drink, the astonishing chakra beam suddenly shot into the air. The cylindrical dust escape turned into an Optimus pillar, surpassing Onoki's size by more than 10 times, and collided with the meteorite. Tisk. 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 Meteorite in seconds. Dissipates at a speed visible to the naked eye. Turned into dust, Uchiha Kagami was unscathed and her body was suspended in the air. That boy Onoki's dust escape. Uchiha Madara's pupils tightened, and instead of being surprised, he smiled and said, Your learning talent is indeed beyond ordinary people, but your Chenden is more than 10 times more than Onoki's, so, you are the stronger one, not Chenden. But, you did give me a lot of surprises. Without Rinnegan, you will be unable to defend or attack this next move. Your defeat is already doomed. Wheels Tomb Border Prison. Chapter 208 Madara vs Mirror, Single Rinnegan vs Double Rinnegan. Advertisement Uchiha Madara's eyes widened. An invisible attack fell on Jing's body. Boom. Uchiha Kagami flew backwards. His body was covered in bruises, but they didn't appear to be fatal. Uchiha Madara narrowed his eyes slightly and couldn't help but feel a little surprised. You're not dead yet. Your physical strength seems to have surpassed Hashirama's. It's interesting. You seem to have other ways to make your body stronger. But it's useless. In front of my tomb, you can only wait for death. Uchiha Kagami, are you desperate? Despair? Isn't it just an invisible shadow clone? What's so great about it? Uchiha Kagami sneered. Huh? How could you know? Uchiha Madara frowned. This summons the wheel tomb, but only the Rinnegan is awakened. The special moves that the Rinnegan can perform cannot be seen by those without a Rinnegan, so there is no way to defend or attack. But this is after his resurrection. The first time I used it, even Hashirama and Black Zetsu didn't know it. Where did the junior Uchiha Kagami learn about this? There's something wrong with this junior. Ha ha ha. Where did I know that? Of course I can do it, Uchiha Madara, then let me give you a taste of this move. Wheels Tomb Border Prison. Uchiha Kagami glared with his left eye. It actually turned into a vortex shape, and the shadow clone could not be seen. He punched Uchiha Madara with a speed that was invisible to the naked eye, but Uchiha Madara is now a double Rinnegan. Even if he does not transform into 6 paths, he can still separate into 2 Rinnegan clones. Then, the balls of his feet moved slightly, the second Loon Tomb clone rushed out and punched out. Boom. After the two collided, it seems like a simple physical technique, but its attack power is huge. After all, this is a unique move that can defeat the nine-tailed beasts with one blow. The ground immediately shattered into several pieces, and the clones took several steps back. You actually awakened the Rinnegan too. Uchiha Madara's pupils tightened, feeling surprised for the first time. And you also have the same Rinnegan clone as me. It's just, you don't seem to have fully awakened? Only awakened one Rinnegan? How the hell did you do that? Uchiha Kagami, what a talent. Do you think that you finally awakened the Rinnegan when you were old, while I awakened the Rinnegan when I was only 42? There's a bit of a psychological gap? Uchiha Kagami said proudly. Haha, it doesn't matter. After all, I am a genius. It's normal that you can't compare to me. It's just one eye, so arrogant. Uchiha Madara smiled instead of getting angry. It seems that you did it deliberately by letting me get close to Nagato. It seems that you asked me to capture Rinnegan, but in fact it was also what you expected. No wonder you were not afraid at all. But aren't you worried about me killing Nagato? Or, I directly control Nagato and let him resurrect me? Are you so confident that I will definitely come back and be resurrected? No, Nagato is the only one who can adapt to the Rinnegan after all. Although Uchiha Setsuna is also a member of the Uchiha clan, he can be the same as Obito. Being able to carry a Rinnegan is already the limit. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. Although Nagato is very strong now, Nagato is only 21 years old. It will take some time before he can fully control Rinnegan, which is not enough to use the Rinne Tensai technique. As for Setsuna Uchiha, although he can barely carry one Rinnegan, he has the blood of the Uchiha clan after all, so he has a greater chance of being able to use the Rinne Tensai technique. As for whether you will kill Nagato, most likely not, because you can't guarantee that Uchiha will be able to use Rinne Tensai technique. Even if you kill Nagato, it doesn't matter, because I can use Rinne Tensai to revive him. Advertisement. You would risk your own life for a junior? Uchiha Madara felt confused. Yes, this is me. Uchiha Kagami smiled. The reason why he had the guts to let Shisui die. Let Uchiha Itachi, who has not yet awakened Mangekyō, go to Kirigakure to instigate rebellion against Kisame. The reason is that Rinne Tensai, who has no side effects, had developed it a year ago. Although it was created by cheating, it is still sufficient. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Uchiha Kagami looked at the other party and suddenly laughed wildly. Uchiha Kagami, the stronger you are, the happier I will be. I am not worried about failure at all. Since defeating Hashirama, I thought no one in this world can stop me. But I met you. Your courage, your resourcefulness, your strength, everything about you exceeded my expectations. It's great. I am not alone in my ways. I am not alone in my ways. It makes us sad. Let's fight happily. Your Rinnegan is stronger, or mine is stronger. Okay. Let's fight. Uchiha Kagami's eyes boiled with fighting spirit. The two looked at each other and released their shadow clones at the same time. Wound Tomb Fire Style Fire is extinguished. Wound Tomb Fire Style Fire is extinguished. Hooray! Hurrah! The two tomb clones opened their mouths at the same time. At the same time as the chakra was mobilized, flames as majestic as the sea collided and erupted. Uchiha Kagami also joined in. After all, the opponents are two clones of Rinku. If we just talk about the level of Rinku's attainments, Madara is definitely better. And the skill of Wheel Tomb. Many people think that they are weak, but they are just clones. But in fact, he is not only invincible below 6 pads level, but also has extremely powerful skills even at 6 pads level. Because, the prison on the edge of the Wheel Tomb is more than just a clone. It exists in an invisible and intangible space, and the shadows produced there can affect the real world, and this shadow of the wheel has almost the same ability as the main body, and can completely perform any spell of the main body. And there is no need to consume chakra itself. It's like having one more physical clone, but this clone is extremely hard and almost impossible to destroy. It's just that they are shadows in the Wheel Tomb space after all, so they can only exist for a limited time. But it's powerful enough. There is no need to consume chakra, and it is no less powerful than the original body. Being able to perform all the ninjutsu, illusions, taijutsu, and even celestial arts of the body. Isn't such a unique skill powerful enough? Those below 6 pads level are completely instant kills. Even if they are also 6 pads level, they must be dealt with caution. And when the two faced off against Fire Style, the free body of Uchiha Madara suddenly flashed. He came behind Jing, who was spitting fire. The blue chakra on his body swept up and turned into a half-body Susanoo. Yasaka Magatama. Phew! Whoosh! Huge Magatama struck one after another. Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but frown, and her body was wrapped by Susanoo at the same time. But when dealing with the Wheel Tomb clone, there is no way to fight back and can only resist this move. Magatama hit Susanoo's back one after another. Chapter 209 Sage Art Wood Style 10,000 Buddhas Chaozong. Uchiha Madara defeated. Advertisement click. Several cracks opened in Susan's back. After all, it is not a perfect body, but when the mirror is distracted. Half-body Susanoo's defense is actually not very strong, but Uchiha Madara saw the opportunity, and the full-body chakra rose into the sky again. Still the complete Susanoo, but it's different from before. His two Tomb of Wheel clones also displayed the full form of Susanoo. A total of 3 complete Susanoos, nearly hundreds of meters away, fell towards Uchiha Kagami like giants, swinging their swords. Uchiha Kagami gritted his teeth. Also, the clone of the Wheel Tomb enveloped the complete Susanoo. Susanoo double knife flurry, Susanoo double knife diversion. Clang. Dang, 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 but in a 3-on-2 situation. No matter how powerful Uchiha Kagami was, he was suppressed. The body surface of the Wheel Tomb clone and Susanoo's original body were covered with a large number of cracks, and the surrounding islands were shattered one after another. Uchiha Kagami, you seem to have overestimated yourself. It seems I won. Uchiha Madara showed a hint of pride. As expected. I can't defeat you without magic, Jing sighed. What? Have you learned magic? Madara's pupils tightened. That's right, and it's the same senjutsu as brother Hashirama. Let me show you my heyday. Infinite immortal technique. Open. Uchiha Kagami clasped her hands together. Natural energy has already filled the body, and the amazing chakra surges instantly. His eyes and eyebrows are covered with immortal facial makeup, but unlike Hashirama, the sun pattern between his eyebrows is wrapped with a touch of the moon. It gives people an unfathomable feeling, and just at this moment, the time for the Wheel Tomb clones has come, and they all return to the Wheel Tomb space. Looking at Uchiha Kagami, whose breath suddenly increased, Uchiha Madara's pupils suddenly contracted, feeling shocked for the first time. Is this Hashirama's infinite senjutsu? No, that's not right. The lines are wrong. The aura increases even more, and you actually improved the infinite senjutsu based on Hashirama? That's right. After all, no matter how good the infinite magic is, it is only suitable for the eldest brother. And I need to improve my own immeasurable senjutsu. This is my one-time use, Uchiha Madara. Get ready to take it. Sage art wood style true several thousand hands. 10,000 Buddhas Chaozong. Uchiha Kagami shouted angrily. As soon as he clapped his hands, the bottom of the sea suddenly trembled. Countless trees came out and turned into Senju Buddha statues rising from the ground, each of which is no less than Hashirama's true several thousand hands. Although there are only a few dozen Buddha statues, it is still far from 10,000 Buddhas. But it was enough to scare Uchiha Madara. At Uchiha Kagami's order, dozens of Senju Buddha statues were smashed down. Boom. Boom boom boom. The deafening roar continued. Hundreds of islands were shattered, and the bottom of the sea was cracked. Uchiha Madara forcibly activates the Wheel Tomb, and the complete Susanoo covers the wooden golem, trying to compete with it. Advertisement, Susan Wooden Golem Jutsu, but the stalemate didn't last long. Uchiha Madara's Susanoo was smashed. The huge wooden golem was also broken into countless sawdust. He was vomiting blood and lay on the sea in a daze. He is not at all decadent and does not feel like a failure. But Uchiha Madara couldn't calm down for a long time because he was really surprised. This kind of immeasurable senjutsu is much more powerful than Hashirama's. Uchiha Kagami's power increased nearly 10 times in an instant, directly widening the gap. Unless he transformed into 6 paths, he would not be able to win. Looking at the hundreds of Buddha statues disappearing around, Uchiha Madara stood up and looked at each other from a distance, looking very puzzled. Why? Why don't you kill me? Why should I kill you? Jingfeng asked, aren't we enemies? Do you want to kill the enemy? Besides, I never think that you and I are enemies. Uchiha Kagami said seriously. Uchiha Madara, there is nothing wrong with your ideal. I agree with it, but it's just been misled. Infinite Tsukuyomi actually has its drawbacks, but I can't tell you now. Because brother Hashirama knows your character. He said that you are the kind of stubborn person who never looks back until he hits the wall. No amount of explanations can make you look back. Instead of doing this, it is better for you to hit the wall yourself. Wall. When you fail, I hope you will be on my side. Of course, it doesn't matter if you don't want to. Don't force it. By the way, thank you for not killing Nagato. Otherwise one of us would really die here today. Let's see who is faster next. Good. Uchiha Madara stood up. The two approached each other on the sea and shook hands. This handshake made Uchiha Madara feel complicated, looking at him as if he had a new goal in life. Uchiha Kagami. Let's fight again when we become 6 paths, I won't lose. Me too. Goodbye. Uchiha Kagami left here. Using the Flying Thunder God technique, Nagato, Shisui, Itachi and the others were taken away. Of course, this includes Kisame and Setsuna Uchiha who almost died. This guy was actually not far from death. If Orochimaru hadn't used Hashirama cells to continuously inject life force, he would have died 8 times already. Return to the Uchiha tribe in the chief's courtyard. Hashirama looked at everyone coming back and said with concern, Third brother, have you won? We won. Don't talk about this now. Saving people is more important. Can you get it done? Uchiha Kagami looked at Orochimaru. Orochimaru said helplessly. I'm afraid there is no other way. The life force consumed by this guy is not at the same level as the tailed beast leaving Jinchuriki. Even if you keep using Hashirama cells, it will be a drop in the bucket. Because he has been consuming life now, and the life injected from the outside is useless. Unless the source of life can be created in his body, he can be reborn from death. He is actually half dead now. That's it. Then leave it to me. I'll use the Rinne Tensai technique to revive him, Uchiha Kagami said calmly. No, third brother, you will die. Senju Hashirama suddenly became anxious. Is this the masked man? Although I also agree with saving people, but if it is at the cost of your life, then I firmly disagree. Your life is the most important. If Tobirama were here, he wouldn't agree. Don't worry, brother, I've already done the research, Jingzi said. Do you mean? Well, Rinne Tensai technique without side effects? As soon as these words came out, everyone present was shocked. Everyone who looked at Uchiha Kagami was stunned. Rinne Tensai can develop a technique that requires death without any side effects. Is this really something a human can do? Chapter 210 Senju Hashirama is resurrected. Concept God, there is no weak person. Advertisement, believe me. I won't joke with my life. Jing smiled slightly. Okay, I believe you. Senju Hashirama hesitated for a long time. He nodded in agreement and saw that Shodai had no objection. Others naturally nodded in agreement, and at Uchiha Kagami's signal, Orochimaru stopped reviving Setsuna. Also at the moment of his death, Uchiha Kagami clasped her hands together and chanted silently in her mind while forming the seal. I bet that if I use the Rinne Tensai technique, I will definitely die, my black hair will definitely turn to white, and my vitality will definitely disappear. Rinne Tensai technique, with the activation of the technique. A light of soul fell from the sky, he got into Uchiha Setsuna's body, and soon he had a heartbeat again, and came around with a confused look on his face. What's going on? Am I dead? It's broken, third brother. Teacher. Grandfather, and the moment he finished casting Rinne Tensai. His hair instantly turned white, and his vitality was almost instantly exhausted. However, the aura characteristic of, you will lose every bet, was activated at the same time, and his vitality returned to its original state, and his white-black hair was dyed black again. This immediately made everyone sigh in relief. Hashirama felt his heart pounding, patted his shoulder and said, "It scared me to death. I thought you were going to die just now." "Grandpa, that look was really scary just now," Shisui said worriedly. "Uncle Jing, are you really okay?" "Haha, just kidding you, of course I'm fine, don't worry, Rinne Tensai's side effects have no effect on me." Uchiha Kagami showed a confident smile. According to conventional methods, in fact, Rinne Tensai, in addition to using 6 paths yin-yang done to forcibly create life force, inject it into the opponent's body to act as the source of life. Otherwise, if this technique is used, the caster will definitely die. And he is naturally no exception. But before he used reincarnation, he offset it by losing every bet. Moreover, in order to prevent the state of being half dead and half immortal, he added more verbal descriptions to ensure that the counter effect was not just as simple as surviving. After all, if he did not die, his vitality would still be hanging on. That is also a state of half-death, and he had actually experimented with it before, on Nawaki. I only dare to be so arrogant after ensuring that I will lose every bet, can completely offset the side effects, but this is the power of the law of cause and effect weapon, it is so unreasonable, it is so unscrupulous. After all, there is no weakling in the concept God. And next, he followed suit and resurrected Senju Hashirama. After almost sorting out the cause and effect, Uchiha's expression suddenly became complicated, and he stood there a little at a loss. After all, advertisement they were once enemies. Moreover, he also killed many people and blamed Konoha. But Uchiha Kagami resurrected himself regardless of the previous grudges, which seemed to give his twisted mind some comfort. "What are your plans? Stay in Konoha?" Mirror asked. I don't want to stay in Konoha. I want to go back and follow Ban-sama," Uchiha said sincerely. "Madara is so loyal to you, are you still so loyal?" Jing said slightly surprised. "Sorry, I am his will. My existence is for Madara-sama. In fact, I know that he does not need me now, but after hearing the news you told me before, I feel that I still have the value of living," Uchiha said in an instant. "I thank you for saving me. I am a person with a clear sense of grudges. When I complete everything I have done, I will come to atone for my sins. You can kill or behead me as you wish, okay?" "Okay, then let's go," Jing said. "Huh? Okay, I'm leaving." Uchiha was stunned for a moment, but he reacted quickly and didn't dare to delay for too long. Leaving Konoha village and heading towards the embrace of Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Shisui expressed his incomprehension. Is there something wrong with this person's brain? Madara plotted against him, used him, and even took his own life to resurrect himself. He still wants to follow him? Maybe this is true love, Jing said with a smile. He actually didn't care whether the other party stayed in Konoha or not. On the contrary, if he continues to follow Madara, he may be able to produce some unexpected effects, such as surprising Black Zetsu's filial son. Anyway, he was actually very happy to see it. It was considered a kind of bad taste on his part. Everyone was chatting, but Nagato remained silent. Apparently he was in a bad mood after losing Rinnegan. Uchiha Kagami led him to a corner and asked, "Is it because you lost Rinnegan? Are you feeling lost? One thing is that Yahiko Konan regarded me as a savior. Now, the savior is gone. Will they be disappointed? Will they think I am a waste? I am still a dwarf." Nagato was very frustrated. "Nagato, you have to live for yourself." Uchiha Kagami patted him on the shoulder and asked patiently. "Yahiko Konan's greatest hope is not that you become the savior, but that you live happily. Let me ask you, Nagato, if you don't care about others, are you really disappointed about losing Rinnegan?" "Actually, no, because I have always regarded it as a burden." Nagato confessed. "Teacher, especially when you told me that day that these Rinnegan were Uchiha Madara, my burden became more and more heavy. These eyes do not belong to me, but because of them I was forced to become a savior. I actually have never had such thoughts, but the meaning of these eyes is different. I am always afraid that I will disappoint everyone if I do not do well, and I am afraid that I will disappoint you, teacher. But the moment Madara took away Rinnegan, I was not disappointed. On the contrary, I'm a little happy, as if the burden has been lifted, teacher. I think so, are you disappointed?" "No. Not at all. Uchiha Kagami showed a gentle smile. I told you, Nagato, my purpose of accepting you as my disciple was never a Rinnegan, and I never wanted you to become a savior. I just want you to do your own thing. As long as you are happy, otherwise why would I let you join Uchiha and marry 2 wives? Being happy is more important than anything else. But I am blind now, Nagato said bitterly. What's this? Orochimaru's cloning technology has matured a bit, and now it can initially clone Mangekyō Sharingan. Even if it is not a pure Mangekyō Sharingan, it still has some abilities. Uchiha Kagami said with a smile. After transplanting to you, you will be Uchiha Nagato, and with Mangekyō Sharingan. Even if your strength will be weakened a little, your own talent will still be there. I believe you won't lose to Shisui and Itachi, and my master will help you. Thank you, teacher. Advertisement chapter 211 Uchiha Nagato comes online and asks Hashirama to be an intern in the Akatsuki organization? Advertisement Nagato burst into tears of gratitude. But regarding the cloning of Mangekyō Sharingan, still a bit shocked. After all, in his eyes, Mangekyō Sharingan is unique, how can it be cloned? This is really outrageous. Orochimaru, take it out and put it on Nagato now. Okay. Orochimaru started digging into his pocket. He took out 2 bottles of culture vessels containing eyeballs from his crotch. But Uchiha Kagami's focus was very novel, and the corner of his mouth twitched. No, why did you take it out from your crotch? Can such a smelly Sharingan still be used? Orochimaru said seriously. You don't understand this. I sewed a pocket on the inside of my pants to hold a lot of potions. There is no smell through the fabric, don't worry. Alright. Uchiha Kagami opened the petri dish. Then he stuffed his eyes into Nagato's eye sockets. Originally, Nagato had experienced some pain, but he also had some Hashirama cells in his body, and the injury healed quickly. At this moment, the shape of Mangekyō in Nagato's eyes is very special. The shape in the middle is round, with 3 thorns protruding evenly around it, which looks ordinary. How do you feel? Jing asked. It's okay, I seem to be able to control objects. Nagato was very surprised and said, if you control some metal blades, I'm afraid you can also form a strong combat power. This ability is very good. Teacher, how did you clone Mangekyō Sharingan? Well, let Orochimaru explain it to you, Mirror said. This pair of Mangekyō comes from a child named Uchiha Nobu. This child is only a few years old, but his body is very special. The cells will not reject it, and the cloned organs can be transplanted to anyone. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth and said excitedly, to be honest, this is the first time I have seen such a body, and your Mangekyō was cloned in this way. In fact, I can mass produce it now. However, this child is still young and his body is quite fragile. Kagami does not need to stress this child too much, so he only cloned this pair for the time being. Uchiha letter. Teacher. Nagato's expression changed, and he lowered his voice and said, isn't it inappropriate for you to treat the children of the Uchiha clan like this? Even if you have great prestige in the Uchiha clan, if someone finds out, I'm afraid the impact will not be good. This child is not from the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Kagami explained. It was just that Itachi accidentally met a child during his mission. He admired Itachi very much. So he gave himself the surname of Uchiha, which actually has nothing to do with Uchiha. That's it, do you mind? Nagato wondered. Why do you mind? Uchiha Kagami smiled. How cruel are you to use other people's bodies for experiments on such a young child? What about giving him a last name? Besides, he is the same as the Mangekyō you have now. Who dares to say that he is not from the Uchiha clan, right? Yes, teacher, you are so witty, that's for sure. Uchiha Kagami smiled proudly. Uchiha believed that this child actually did not occur to him. Advertisement after all, this child only appeared in the later plot, and the reason why he admired Itachi was because he recognized Itachi's ideas and admired Itachi's charisma. At this stage, Itachi is only a teenager. Whether he was born or not was a question, but Itachi didn't expect that he happened to meet him. And I believe this child is a war orphan. Just in time to be rescued by Itachi, the fate between the two began early. And Uchiha Shin's Mangekyō Sharingan. In fact, his abilities are quite outstanding and he has full potential. Many people think this ability is useless, but in fact there is no useless ability, only useless people can control objects. If the caster is weak, he can only control some stones. But if the caster is strong, then manipulating metal couldn't be easier. It is also possible to carry out metal attacks from a distance, and even to form a stronger metal sword array. It is not impossible to fly with the sword. If on the basis of strong strength, the imagination is amazing. Then the upper limit of this ability is too high. Returning to the 10,000 swords sect is not a problem, so the weak one is not Mangekyō Sharingan, but the caster himself. There is no need to talk about Nagato's potential and strength. He believes that Nagato will develop this pair of Mangekyō to ultimate, and finally there will be a sword fairy Nagato, which is also very handsome, right? Only Nagato was left. Uchiha Kagami whispered. Nagato, are you willing to be the best swordsman in the ninja world? Huh? Sword immortal? Nagato didn't understand. The kind of person who flies in the sky on a metal flying sword and can summon thousands of sword formations to kill the enemy. This is the sword fairy. Uchiha Kagami became more and more excited, and you can also combine it with fire style to form a fire sword formation, combine it with water style to form a water sword formation, and combine it with lightning style to form a thunder sword formation. Whether you are great or not is one thing, but being handsome lasts a lifetime. FK. That sounds awesome. Nagato understood everything and started to get excited. To be honest, teacher. Maybe I can also form a sword array to protect my body? Similar to the Shinra Tenjung? Or control the tailed beast to create an explosive sword formation? Wow, I can already imagine how handsome I am, teacher. Thank you for your advice. Ha ha ha, you're welcome, you're a pretty good guy too. Uchiha Kagami was very satisfied and said in a serious tone. You can teach a kid, but Uchiha Madara was defeated by me. He will definitely not be able to sit still and will be the first to collect the tailed beasts. We must be the first to do so. The war is expected to break out early. Nagato seizes the time to practice. When the time comes, the burden of capturing the tailed beast will be left to you. I will restrain Uchiha Madara, and he will not interfere with your actions. Okay, I won't let the teacher down, Nagato nodded. In addition, the Akatsuki organization also needs to expand its manpower. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rebel ninja. Be more flexible. The Akatsuki organization is not a rebel ninja organization. Uchiha Kagami said seductively. You can directly hire Konoha's elites as interns in the name of Rain Shinobi Village. For example, people like Obito, Shisui, Itachi, Kakashi, Might Guy. I'm actually quite free now, so it would be nice to get a part-time job. Yes, why didn't I think of that? They have to be teachers. They don't even have to be hired from outside. Can I hire Mr. First Hokage? Nagato's eyes suddenly lit up. If Shodai comes forward, you can contain Uchiha Madara. Who among the 5 great ninja villages dares to provoke the god of ninja? Maybe they don't even need to do anything, they just have to surrender the tailed beast, right? Operator, oh Operator, Uchiha Kagami exclaimed. You really dare to think about it. Chapter 212 Hoshigaki Kisame picks up the child. I am a good person. Advertisement. Good guy. Uchiha Kagami was also stunned for a second. I have never thought of this idea. Let my eldest brother be an intern of the Akatsuki organization. Your kid is too wilted now, but I like it. Ha ha ha. That's it. It's all because of your good teaching. A tiger father has no dog son. Nagato chuckled. Ha ha ha. Good boy. Uchiha Kagami laughed heartily. This kid Nagato has completely changed. It used to be cold outside and hot inside, but now it has become sunny and cheerful. Of course, this is not the point. The point is that although Nagato lost Rinnegan, he abandoned the burden of the past. Not long after that, witnessed by Uchiha Kagami, Nagato married Omei and Xiaomei and officially became the Uchiha clan. From then on, life moves into a new chapter. And Uchiha Itachi. I took Hoshigaki Kisame around the village. Both of them were very silent. After all, they were not easy to deal with at first. But Hoshigaki Kisame, being an honest person, took the initiative to break the deadlock. By the way, what is your name? Sorry, I forgot. Uchiha Itachi. Oh, did Madara lose? Lost, Uncle Mirror wins Uchiha Madara. Kisame guessed it though, but I couldn't help but be shocked when I heard the news. After all, to him, Uchiha Madara is a legendary figure. This kind of existence that stands at the pinnacle of the ninja world actually lost to Uchiha Kagami? And, he witnessed the whole process. Uchiha Setsuna resurrects Uchiha Madara. And with double Rinnegan, the pressure is amazing. And for Uchiha Kagami to win such a legendary figure, it seems that what the other party said before was not a joke. Can I ask, are there any disadvantages to infinite Tsukuyomi? Hoshigaki Kisame asked. Before Uncle Jing agrees, I can't tell you too much inside information, but the only thing that can be confirmed is. Uchiha Itachi replied. It seems that infinite Tsukuyomi can trap everyone in a beautiful illusion world, but in fact, everyone who falls under infinite Tsukuyomi will eventually become White Zetsu. White Zetsu? What is White Zetsu? Hoshigaki Kisame wondered. Oh, you haven't seen it before. White Zetsu is another kind of creature, a strange creature that is not considered human, Uchiha Itachi said. Huh? Not even a human anymore? So the illusion is not eternal? Yes, it's just temporary. This way, you are young. You know quite a lot. Hoshigaki Kisame looked at him. Can I call you sir? Oh no, you are younger than me. Then I will call you Mr. Itachi? Whatever, but remove the word, small, Itachi frowned. Okay, Mr. Itachi. Hoshigaki Kisame looked confused again. I spent my whole life either killing my companions or on the way to killing my companions. I originally thought I had a goal, but now I create a false world. It seems to be false as well. To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. It seems you are confused. Itachi looked at him. Yeah, can you give me some advice? Guidance is not a big deal. Uncle Jing thinks you are a talent, and I can see that you are quite capable. Uchiha Itachi said seriously. Since you don't know what to do, why not follow me? Most of me have tasks, and now that Mangekyō Sharingan has been awakened, there will be a lot of tasks. Advertisement. Brother Nagato's Akatsuki organization is also very short of people. Maybe I will be an intern in the future. Do you want to come with me? Okay, Mr. Itachi. Hoshigaki Kisame has no comments. For him who is confused in life, it would be great if someone can guide him. In this way, he followed Itachi's butt, as if he was a bodyguard, but the scene looked quite harmonious. But due to a busy day, both of them were hungry, so they found a barbecue pork restaurant. After sitting inside, the two of them each ordered a piece of barbecued pork rice. Itachi was so hungry that he started eating directly. But, Hoshigaki Kisame is very novel and always asks about this and that. Mr. Itachi, what kind of food is this? Itachi replied. Barbecued pork rice. Hoshigaki Kisame. Mr. Itachi, what is barbecued pork? Uchiha Itachi. Pork tenderloin. Hoshigaki Kisame. Mr. Itachi, what is sprinkled on this pork tenderloin? Uchiha Itachi. Pepper and sauce. Hoshigaki Kisame. Itachi-san. Itachi couldn't help it anymore and suppressed his temper and said, "Are you finished? You have to ask this and that about a barbecued pork rice? You haven't eaten it yet?" "I haven't eaten it before. Kirigakure is on the sea. All we eat is fish. I especially like to eat shark meat." Hoshigaki Kisame felt aggrieved.
No wonder you look like a shark. Uchiha Itachi rolled his eyes. This rice is just ordinary pork tenderloin fried, with pepper, sauce and other condiments added, and then mixed with rice. Don't ask any more.
"Mr. Itachi, you know so much," Hoshigaki Kisame praised. Uchiha Itachi heard the compliment, but he was not happy at all. Instead, he was very tired. Hoshigaki Kisame is older than him and looks very mature. Who would have thought that he is like a child asking him why every day? Seriously, he didn't even have that much trouble taking care of Sasuke. But when he thought about his experience, Uchiha Itachi actually understood this person very well. After all, he had spent his whole life in numbness. "I have never lived my own life, and now I am finally free. It's normal to talk too much, but he can't stand it." Uchiha Itachi pondered for a moment and said, "Kisame, if you really don't know what to do, then do me a favor in the future." "What help? I will definitely help," Hoshigaki Kisame said sincerely. "My brother gets out of school at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You go pick him up," Itachi said. "Your brother? My biological brother? Yes, his name is Sasuke. He looks a lot like me. You can recognize him at a glance." "Okay, leave it to me. I'm the best at picking up and dropping off children." Hoshigaki Kisame's eyes lit up. "It's not that I'm interested in transportation, I just want to find something to do." Itachi also gave himself a short break and let Hoshigaki Kisame wait at the school gate. Not long after, school is out. Sasuke and Naruto stood at the school gate. Before I could say goodbye, I saw a blue-skinned person. A shark face that didn't look like a human at all came over, causing Sasuke and Naruto to step back in fright. "FK. Who are you?" "My name is Hoshigaki Kisame, and you are Mr. Itachi's brother, right?" Hoshigaki Kisame smiled what he thought was a gentle smile, but in fact, the sharp teeth contained in the smile were extremely terrifying. "I am the person Mr. Itachi asked me to pick you up. I am a good person. Will you follow me home?" Chapter 213 Gentle Oni-chan, Confident Uchiha Madara. Advertisement? A good person? Whose good person has a shark face? Sasuke complained. "You said you were sent by my brother to pick me up? Who are you to him? How many days have you known him?" "We just met today," Kisame said honestly. "Oh, you called me sir when we just met? Big liar. Naruto, run." Sasuke pretended not to care. An excited spirit pulled the confused Naruto and ran away. The legs were so flexible that they could fly several meters in the blink of an eye. Naruto panted heavily and asked as he ran. "What are we running for? That shark-faced guy is a bad guy. He wants to kidnap us," Sasuke said anxiously. "This is Konoha. You are the son of Deputy Chief Uchiha, and I am the son of Fourth Hokage. Who dares to abduct us? I think you're thinking too much." Naruto suddenly had his IQ online. Sasuke was stunned for a moment and felt that it made sense. This is Konoha village. These children are not the future of Konoha and are the objects of Konoha's key protection. In fact, Itachi doesn't need to be picked up at all. Because Fourth Hokage had already arranged for many Anbu to take turns keeping an eye on the children to prevent them from being threatened, so it was impossible to lose them. And at this time, Hoshigaki Kisame blocked them and smiled again. "I am really a good person. Look at my smile, how gentle and kind it is. My face represents a good person. How can I be a bad person?" "You gentle ***, please stop laughing," Sasuke said angrily. "You look like you were killing someone with your smile. I believe you are a good person. Okay, I'll go with you." "Naruto, are you going to my house to play?" "No, mother made me delicious food today. If I don't go back, my legs will be broken." Naruto refused. "Then next time, let's go. Goodbye." After the two said goodbye, Hoshigaki Kisame takes Sasuke with him. He went straight to the Uchiha tribe, but he was an outsider. Moreover, his appearance was so strange that everyone couldn't help but stare at him along the way. After all, it was rare to see someone with a shark face and a mouth full of fangs. But, chatting along the way, the two got to know each other a little bit. "Can I just call you by your name?" Sasuke asked. "Okay, I don't mind. Why do you have blue skin? You also have a shark face. Is this a characteristic of your Kirigakure?" Sasuke asked curiously. "I don't know, I was born this way." Hoshigaki Kisame shook his head. The reason why he is considered this way by many people. It was the Samahata sword that influenced him, but in fact only he knew it. He was born like this, with shark eyes, fangs, and gills at the corners of his eyes. He only got the sword Samahata when he became an adult. "Okay, how did you and my brother meet?" Sasuke asked again. "In Kirigakure, your brother was ordered to investigate me, and then we met like this, and then this." "Oh, you said nonsense." Sasuke was speechless. "Your brother also said that I talk a lot of nonsense. I can't help it. I have been killing my companions in our village. People like me may not end well." Hoshigaki Kisame said calmly. "So I need to speak, talk to people, and understand my current value. Your brother said he would help me." My brother is a good man, you can trust him. I know, Mr. Itachi is very good. Yeah, we're home. Advertisement. Sasuke smiled. The two came to the home, but Fugaku was not there. As the deputy clan leader, he is busy with many things every day. Makoto went to his best friend Kushina's house for a visit, leaving Itachi alone in charge of cooking. But the meal has been prepared long ago. There's salted fish sashimi, sea urchin fried rice, lobster, hairy crab, etc. The key is, the dishes, chopsticks and plates are very neat and well proportioned, giving people a feeling of obsessive-compulsive disorder.
Uchiha Itachi showed a smile. You're back. You made something casually. Let's eat quickly. It won't taste good when it's cold. Kisame, let's eat together.
Is this something casual? Kisame was confused. Haha, that's what my brother is like, thank you Oni-chan. Sasuke chuckled. Showed a happy smile. I didn't care about so much and just went to the table to eat. Kisame also followed the guests and started eating honestly. Seeing Sasuke eating so happily, Itachi nodded with satisfaction. By the way, Sasuke, how was your school class today? It's too easy. Apart from those basic courses, the practical courses are also quite boring. I have learned it a long time ago, brother. I plan to graduate within 1 year. Sasuke said confidently. Within a year? Are you going to surpass Shisui ni? Itachi asked. Yes, I want to become a strong man like Uncle Jing. Nissan, will you support me? Of course, Sass. Uchiha Itachi touched his head gently. No matter what you do, brother, I will support you unconditionally, so feel free to do it. Hey, thank you, brother. Sasuke nodded shyly. You're welcome. Hoshigaki Kisame eats a hairy crab in his mouth. Do not know why, these crab legs don't have any sugar at all, but they taste so sweet. After eating, Kisame said goodbye. After all, it was inconvenient to live here, so he found a hotel outside and stayed. Kirigakure. In a dark room. Uchiha returned to his lair in an instant. Uchiha Madara sat on a chair, looking at his intact subordinates, and couldn't help but feel surprised. You are not dead? You used Rinne Tensai. It is logical that you will die. How did you do it? The mirror saved me. Setsuna said. Uchiha Madara frowned. He used Rinne Tensai to save you? Is he so courageous? He even risked his life to save the enemy? No, he saved me with reincarnation in his own life. The difference between this forbidden technique and Rinne Tensai is that it does not consume much life force. And the mirror's life force is more than 10 times more than that of ordinary people. Uchiha replied in Setsuna. Even if he uses Keisei reincarnation, his vitality is still very abundant, so it won't have a big impact on him. Oh, reincarnation, the forbidden technique spread by Tsunagakure? Uchiha Madara raised his eyebrows slightly, but did not doubt too much. I just said that Mirror can't be as kind as Hashirama, and it would be too stupid to give up his own life after finally awakening a Rinnegan. It turns out that he has mastered Tsunagakure's forbidden technique. No wonder he wasn't worried about me killing Nagato before. He was already prepared to save Nagato, but this junior is indeed very powerful. He also improved Hashirama's immeasurable senjutsu. I have to admit that he has now surpassed Hashirama and me and has become the undisputed #1 in the ninja world. Madara-sama, what should we do? He should also be able to summon Geto statue, if he gets there first. Black Zetsu worried.
What are you afraid of? Uchiha Madara smiled arrogantly. That's interesting, haha. No one has made me so excited since Hashirama. Uchiha Kagami, this time you were lucky enough to beat me with your magic.
But next time, it's not certain who will win. Chapter 214 Heading to Ryuchi Cave. Do you want to know who you are? Advertisement, yes, Madara-sama, Black Zetsu nodded. But, I have to find a way to obtain immortal magic. Logically speaking, Mirror's immortal magic is more suitable for me, but I'm not sure I can beat him now. Uchiha Madara narrowed his eyes slightly, so we can only do the next best thing, get Hashirama's senjutsu, and use Rinnegan to capture Hashirama's boundless senjutsu. It is very simple, but Hashirama can't hide in Konoha now. Even if a mirror comes out to restrain me, I can't get the senjutsu. What should I do now? Black Zetsu, do you know? Where does Hashirama's boundless senjutsu come from? Maybe the 3 holy places. Black Zetsu said hoarsely. I have monitored Hashirama before. He seems to be interested in the celestial arts of the 3 major holy places, but I don't know the specific location. Maybe he has learned the 3 major celestial arts. Originally I didn't look down on magic. Uchiha Madara looked confident and said, but Hashirama's senjutsu must be a combination of the 3 major senjutsu to comprehend the infinite senjutsu. No wonder I was no match for him in the battle at the Valley of the End.
It's no wonder that Uchiha Kagami can defeat me with the Rinnegan alone, so I might as well learn it. If Hashirama can do it, there's no reason why I can't. If I can understand my own magic, infinite immortal technique.
Then Uchiha Kagami may not be my opponent even if she awakens her eyes. Madara-sama can definitely do it, Black Zetsu flattered. Uchiha Madara glanced at Setsuna. And you still want to follow me, even if I let you use the Rinne Tensai technique to resurrect me. But take your life, you don't resent me at all? I told you, Madara-sama, I am willing to die, Uchiha said sincerely for a moment. I am your will, no matter who. Can't stop me, I offer my supreme loyalty. Oh, then how are you sure that I will definitely use you? Madara asked with a smile. For I am your will, until one day, you will understand. Setsuna, Black Zetsu is the creation of my will, you are not. Uchiha Madara frowned. For this person Uchiha Setsuna, He trusts the other's loyalty, but trusts Black Zetsu even more. After all, Black Zetsu is the incarnation of his will, and there is no possibility of rebellion. No matter how loyal others are, they will betray them sooner or later in his eyes, just like Obito did after experiencing the previous resurrection incident. To be honest, he no longer wants to use this person. Uchiha stared at Black Zetsu for a moment, then looked at Uchiha Madara, and said calmly, Madara-sama, you will understand sooner or later. If you are not willing to use me, then you can kill me or expel me. This guy, Black Zetsu, felt uncomfortable in his heart. After all, no one knows about the plan to resurrect Mother. He saw Uchiha Kagami whispering something to him before, but he definitely didn't believe it was about Mother's resurrection. At most, he thought it was Uchiha Kagami who deliberately alienated him from himself. So I didn't think much about it. At this moment, Kabuto, who had a low presence, stood up and said, Madara-sama, I think Uchiha Setsuna can still be used. Oh, what's the reason? Madara asked. First of all, this person is still valuable. His time and space ninjutsu is very convenient. Yakushi Kabuto analyzed seriously. With the same alien space as Obito, Geto statue needs to be devoured by Shukaku first, but if we capture other tailed beasts, it will not be affected. It can be temporarily stored in Setsuna's different space. Furthermore, Setsuna is very powerful among us. We currently have too few manpower. Keeping him can also prevent accidents from happening. What do you think? It makes sense, Kabuto, you are very good, so just keep it. Thank you Madara-sama. Advertisement, do your work seriously. Uchiha Madara waved his hand. In fact, he didn't really care. After all, with his structure, it's not like he can't tolerate such a person. As for betrayal, he has no worries. With his current strength, anyone who dares to betray will be killed. When he learns infinite senjutsu, even Uchiha Kagami will not be able to protect them, so he doesn't care. Black Zetsu, can you find the location of the 3 holy places? Uchiha Madara asked. I'm sorry, Madara-sama. I can't do it. Black Zetsu looked troubled. In fact, it's not that he doesn't want to look for it, but he just doesn't dare. Because in fact, Otsutsuki Kagaya, who is his mother, is considered an outsider on this planet, while the White Snake Sage of Ryuchi Cave, the Toad Sage of Mount Myoboku, and the Katsuyu Sage of Shigu Forest are the aborigines of this world. Each of their strengths is unfathomable. It seems that they are indifferent to the world, but they are not. The 3 great immortals have a profound influence on the world. As the descendant of an outsider, his attitude towards him is not clear. If he finds out, wouldn't he be seeking death? Can't you even do it? Uchiha Madara didn't suspect anything. After all, Black Zetsu is his own will, there is no way he can't do it himself. Willing to be able to find the 3 holy places is so awesome, wouldn't it make him look useless? But in this case, the acquisition of boundless magic has reached a bottleneck. Just as he frowned, Yakushi Kabuto raised his hand and said cautiously, Master Madara, I can help you find one of the 3 holy places, Ryuchi Cave. Huh? How did you know? Madara was confused. Although I don't know Ryuchi Cave's senjutsu, my teacher Orochimaru has learned it a long time ago, and I have a good relationship with Ryuchi Cave. Orochimaru-sama is very kind to me. He took me to Ryuchi Cave once. Yakushi Kabuto did not hide anything and said, originally, he wanted me to learn Ryuchi Cave's domineering senjutsu, but my talent was not enough. And it failed. I almost died when I failed to learn senjutsu. But I was saved by the teacher, but I remembered the location of Ryuchi Cave. Okay. It doesn't take any effort, Kabuto. When I learn Ryuchi Cave's domineering senjutsu, I will remember your first achievement. This is what I should do. Kabuto pushed up his glasses. Let's go. Yes. Uchiha Madara doesn't drag her feet either. Directly led by Yakushi Kabuto, we arrived inside Ryuchi Cave. The trial was not difficult at all for him, and he soon met the White Snake Immortal, one of the legendary 3 immortals. Covered in white scales, orange hair and yellow eyes. There is a red night pearl on the head, a long pipe in the mouth, and 2 golden rings at the tail. Looking at the White Snake Immortal sitting on the throne, Uchiha Madara raised his head and looked at it unscrupulously. Are you the White Snake Immortal? It's me. If I pass the trial, I can learn domineering immortal technique, right? Okay, but, White Snake Sage said hoarsely, Uchiha Madara, before you learn the senjutsu of my Ryuchi Cave, I want to ask you, do you know who you are? Chapter 215 shocked Madara. Is the mirror also the reincarnation of Indra? Advertisement, as soon as these words came out. Uchiha Madara couldn't help but frown. I am Uchiha Madara, who else could I be? No, you are Uchiha Madara, but your identity is very different. White Snake took a drag on his pipe and exhaled a breath of turbid air. Thick smoke fell in front of Madara. Madara waved her hand to disperse the smoke, seeming a little impatient. If you have anything to say, just say it. Or, are you trying to embarrass me? Yakushi Kabuto said that Orochimaru and Uchiha Kagami came here to learn senjutsu, but you didn't make things difficult for them. Don't you, Ryuchi Cave, treat them equally? Immortal White Snake chuckled softly. Of course we treat everyone equally. I've just been a little bored after living for too long. Finally, someone came here, and he was a boy with an extraordinary status. I am interested in chatting more. If you don't want to hear it, then I will teach you the magic right now, and you can make your own choice. Okay, let's talk. Uchiha Madara did not refuse. He could sense that what was coming next might not be easy.
White Snake Sage smiled. Do you know how this world came about? How did the history of ninjas develop? Why have you and the Senju clan been fighting for thousands of years? Do you know? I know Sage of Six Paths created this world. Uchiha Madara said slowly. I have also heard about the history of ninjas. It seems to have evolved after the creation of Sage of Six Paths. As for the Uchiha and Senju clan, according to the stone tablet I saw in the basement of Uchiha Nanga Shrine.
Sage of Six Paths mentioned something above. The ancestors of Hashirama and I were the descendants of Sage of Six Paths. After Sage of Six Paths died, the tailed beast was divided into 9 parts, and the Gedo statue was sealed on the moon.
After the death of Sage of Six Paths, their descendants fought, and the Senju clan and I are their descendant clans, because the hatred and disputes of the past generations have continued to my generation and Hashirama's. Hashirama is simple, but he is a courageous man. He and I jointly founded Konoha, thus ending the dispute between the Uchiha and Senju clans. But unfortunately, Hashirama and I have different ideas. Originally, I wanted to take away my people, but unfortunately no one followed me. Not long after I left Konoha, I challenged Hashirama again. I died in his hands on purpose. In fact, it was to open the door to Rinnegan. And I will cut off the cause and effect in the world and bring peace to the ninja world. It's one-sided. White Snake Sage shook his head. You only know one thing but not the other. The grudge between you and the Senju clan can last for thousands of years. It is not only caused by the hatred between the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan, but also by your ancestors Indra and Ashura.
Indra and Ashura? Are they the ancestors of Uchiha and Senju?
That's right, White Snake Sage said slowly. Sage of Six Paths created the ninja sect, began to benefit the world, and also had his own children. Among them, Indra inherited the eyes of the immortal, and Ashura inherited the body of the immortal. Advertisement. But as the age increases, even the Sage of Six Paths has reached the end of its lifespan, so it is necessary to choose the successor of the ninja sect. These two children have completely different personalities. Indra has an extreme and solitary personality, while Ashura is kind-hearted and willing to tolerate others with love and unite all forces that can be united. In the end, between Indra and Ashura, Sage of Six Paths chose Ashura as the heir. Uchiha Madara's eyes flashed. Then Indra must not be willing to give in, right? You guessed it right. After the death of the Sage of Six Paths, Indra and Ashura started an endless struggle, which continued from generation to generation, until the Uchiha and Senju clan, and until Hashirama founded Konoha, it temporarily ended. White Snake Sage said with a low expression. To be honest, Hashirama is indeed very courageous, but unfortunately he is short-lived. And even if you shake hands and make peace temporarily, you will part ways again for various reasons. The biggest reason is that your respective ancestors Indra and Ashura, although they have been dead for many years, but chakra still exists in this world, and is reincarnated from generation to generation as the descendants spread. And you, Uchiha Madara, are Indra's chakra reincarnation, and Senju Hashirama is Ashura's chakra reincarnation. From the moment you were born, you are destined to have an unbreakable bond.
I see. Madara suddenly realized, but Rinnegan's existence is actually unique. White Snake Sage said quietly. Do you think that according to the content of the stone tablet, you transplanted a piece of Hashirama's flesh and blood, and the power of the two is the same? Is it really that simple to awaken the Rinnegan?
Isn't it? Wait, Uchiha Madara is not a fool, and immediately reacted. Although the power of Uchiha and the Senju family is the key, the chakra reincarnation of the two of us is one of the necessary conditions to open the Rinnegan. That's right, White Snake Sage said hoarsely. Otherwise, there are so many descendants of Indra and Ashura, even lasting for thousands of years.
There are many people who are lucky enough to have Mangekyō. Some of them have also seen the stone tablets left by Sage of Six Paths.
Why are you, Uchiha Madara, the only one to awaken Rinnegan? Don't they know about transplantation? Don't they want to awaken the Rinnegan? Of course they do, but even if they fuse without the conditions for chakra reincarnation, it will be in vain. The Uchiha and Senju clan. It has lasted for thousands of years since ancient times. The bloodline has been diluted more than 10 times. It is no longer comparable to your ancestors. Therefore, the necessary condition for opening Rinnegan can only be reincarnation. Unless chakra is reincarnated, Rinnegan will not be able to awaken.
Is this the truth? Uchiha Madara murmured in a low voice. In other words, besides me, only Hashirama in this world has the chance to awaken the Rinnegan? Yes, that's right, there is only a chance, although the conditions are sufficient.
But it's too late for Hashirama. I cultivated Hashirama's cells and transplanted them for many years. I didn't awaken the Rinnegan until I faced death in my lifespan. Therefore, Hashirama only has hope, but it is not certain that it will be possible.
Yes, you made a good deduction, the White Snake Immortal nodded. I have to say that Hashirama and Madara are both standouts. At least throughout the history of the ninja world, outside of Sage of Six Paths, Indra, and Ashura. In terms of strength, personality, charm, and influence on the ninja world, almost no one can surpass these two. But, Uchiha Madara thought of something, and her pupils suddenly tightened. Why did Uchiha Kagami also awaken Rinnegan besides me and Hashirama? Logically speaking, no matter how hard he tries, he will never be able to do it. Why is this? Is he also the reincarnation of Indra?